Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. The Bengals and Browns both getting Week 17 wins in the NFL. Joe Burrow throws for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns to Jamar Chase. Chase Brown rushes for 101 and 2 scores, and Cincinnati routs Arizona 37-14. The Bengals improved to 6-10 on the year. Cleveland jumped out to a 10-0 first quarter lead and rode the defense to a 13-6 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Myles Garrett doesn't get the sack record, but affected the game all day long. The Steelers lost, and the Ravens win on Saturday night sets up a winner-take-all game for the AFC North next week. The Columbus Blue Jackets have won back-to-back games for the first time since December 1st and 4th, beating the New York Islanders 4-2. Kirill Marchenko scored 2 goals, including the game winner. The Jackets back at it tonight in Ottawa at 7. Pre-game coverage here on The Fan gets underway at 6:30.
Good morning, Columbus.
Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe.
Wait, no. Not this one.
Frizzle left tight, F fly, pass 37 punch, waggle, help, baby dizzy, X fan on the turbo.
Thank you, baby.
Football, man.
It's time to listen to a bald, fat loudmouth
Mr. T-Bone.
and a former football player.
And that ball intercepted by Tyler's pal.
Wow, no radio station has ever done that before.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. But it might work for us.
Welcome to T-Bone and Tyvis.
You know what they say? Good things come to people that wait. And Tyvis Powell, I think we have been waiting way too long to get some Buckeye football in our life, but it is finally game week. We got you for it, and we're kicking it off right here on T-Bone and Tyvis. I'm Matt Fontaine in for T-Bone this morning. He is Tyvis Powell. What a time to be alive. Jackets win. Oh, that was a fun game. Browns win. That was fun. The Bengals win. They smoked the Cardinals. It's just the Cavs. That's the only thing for this weekend, man. It's the only thing. I live in bro.
Why did you have to go and bring up the Cavs? We was rolling. Listen, they're irrelevant. Until after football season, nobody's really paying them no attention right now. So let them stay in the background. However, this was a successful weekend for all of sports. When you think about just being in Columbus, whether you're a fan of the Browns or the Bengals, you were happy Sunday. Whether you're a Jackets fan, you were happy. And the way that they did it in the third period, they came back and shut it out. Like, come on now. When you get that type of thing, it was just a great weekend. Oh, by the way, finally, it's game week. Oh, I've been waiting on this moment for 20-something days. Man, you watch all of these college games on TV, and it's all right. Like, it's cool.
The thirst, though, man.
Yeah, don't scratch that itch like the Buckeyes do. And then just to get that sour taste out of our mouths, man, it's about time.
It is, man, and it's perfect timing. The holidays, I know, I say everybody loves them. That's not always the case, and if you don't, we're certainly here for you with that. But it's a good time of the year. We got the football, but you're right. It's just been this long yearn and wait for the Buckeyes, but we're finally here, and we've got you covered. And don't forget, too, like, obviously, be Tyvis tonight, tomorrow. T-Bone will be back on Wednesday. But tonight, we do have the Chasing the Championship special. Get ready for the Cotton Bowl with the Chasing the Championship special tonight, 7:30 on 10 TV. Dom Tiberi, Adam King, they're live in Dallas. Nicole Sheeran and Tyvis Powell right here in Columbus. We'll get you ready to kick off because Tyvis doesn't have enough shows that he does. Watch tonight, 7:30, 10 TV. Stream it on the 10 TV Plus, 10 TV Plus, and the 10 TV app. Chasing the Championship on the Fan and 10 TV is presented by Logan Services, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. That's right. We actually get to get ready for the game. It's not just sitting there waiting who it is and talking about practice. Like, they're there. They're in Dallas. We're ready to go. And we got plenty of Buckeyes to get to this morning as well. But we kind of look back on that NFL slate, and we start with, the games, like you said, Tyvis, that really kind of matter for the state of Ohio. The Browns somehow, dude, I do not know how they won that game because I am a Browns fan through and through. Been since day one, will be till the day I die. That was a game I go, there's no way. You're telling me a rookie quarterback versus Mike Tomlin, a chance for the Steelers to win the AFC North. I look back on that game even again and rewatched it, and I go, how does this go our way? I sit here, Tyvis, and I'm like, what were the Steelers doing? And then I hear Myles Garrett after the game, and I watch it again, and I go, there it is. They were so preoccupied with not letting him get that sack that it ruined the whole game. And I guess it's like a funny microcosm of Aaron Rodgers, where he's so worried about like the vanity and the view that he'd rather lose a game than just be in a picture or be in a statistic for history, right?
Well, that's not fair, because when you look at it from the standpoint of they didn't have DK Metcalf, they didn't have Calvin Austin, so he didn't have a lot of weapons to work with. Him and the MVS was the only guy that was a respectable guy that was out there, a receiver that you even paid any attention to, which is hence why he went to him 3 times at the end of the game to try to win the game.
Oh, pissed off Denzel Ward.
Yeah, but outside of that, all you had was Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington and in a run game. And you were hoping that the Browns couldn't, obviously these past couple of weeks, they haven't been able to stop a cold in the run game. James Cook was able to just go straight down the middle of the field and just do whatever he wanted to do. So you was hoping that you get a lot of that. But I think what messed them up is they weren't expecting the Browns to come out there and jump to that 10-point lead like that, and I think that made them have to pass the ball a little bit more than they wanted to. You think about the first time that they played the Browns offense was terrible that game. And they were perfectly content with getting a little lead and kicking and punting the ball away because they knew the Browns could not do anything offensively. Well, with Shedeur in there, he gives you a little chance of doing something on offense. And when they got them 10 points, it was like, man, we behind the 8 ball. Now they forced them to throw the ball, and they don't have their 2 best weapons in the pass. So I think that's why it looked the way it looked. You see, when they had to have it in the drive at the end, they were able to just go straight down the field because Aaron Rodgers knew where to go with the football and get it out of his hands in a timely manner. They just tried the wrong guy at the end of the game.
They did, and Denzel Ward said, he goes, they're trying me 3 times. He goes, bring it on, and he got the stops. And the Browns had to do it without any of their top 2 running backs, basically. Like, we know Quinshawn's out, Jerome Ford's out, Sampson came back, but to piece that together was really incredible. And the thing is, it cost them in a way potentially drafting a quarterback, because with that win, if the draft was tomorrow, the Browns are picking 6th. And Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, they're not going to fall. And if the Browns decide that one of those guys is worth it to go trade for, then maybe they can go do that as well. Tyvis, that doesn't even enter the equation for me. I wanted Dante Moore bad. I was talking myself into him. I thought he could be really good in the NFL. What, Matt, you lost him for a meaningless win? That win was not meaningless. That win was not meaningless to that team, to Kevin Stefanski, to the players in that locker room. I'll take that win all day long. I'll figure the quarterback out later. And at this point, you want to know what? For all you Shedeur Sanders fans out there, congratulations. I'm finally all the way on board. Let him start next year. We're here. We're not taking a quarterback. Start Shedeur Sanders. Go wide receiver, offensive line in the draft, and I'll be happy.
Well, it's interesting because people were saying, well, we got 2 picks. You could package those picks up and trade up to get a Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. But the funny thing about this is if you don't have a franchise quarterback and you believe in that guy, there's no way that you're trading the pick. There's no way.
That's right.
You think about what the situation the Jets is in. You think about what the Cardinals in, or you think about what the Raiders are in. There's no way that they're going to pass up on an opportunity to draft their franchise guy. So,
and I don't mean to cut you off, but it's go back to the Titans with Cam Ward. People called, and they were like, absolutely not. And there are people that feel like Mendoza and Moore are better than Cam Ward was coming out last year, and the Titans refused to move that pick last year for Cam Ward.
We'll see about that. Cam Ward's arm talent is unbelievable. Cam Ward is one of those guys that if he comes off to me like a Caleb Williams. So I say it like this. It's gonna sound blasphemous, but just follow me.
I'll follow you.
Patrick Mahomes walked, so Caleb Williams and Cam Ward could fly. You know what I'm saying? Their gameplay is very similar to where it's very unorthodox. To where if you're watching it as a coach or a fan, you're like, what in the world are you doing? And then they throw the ball. They do this run around thing, and then they throw the ball, and it's like, oh, okay. And you want to coach them out of it bad, but like that's what makes them special is that they can make certain throws because they just have that arm talent. And Cam Ward is in that same ilk. Caleb Williams was able to get it fixed with Ben Johnson, which did you watch that banger last night?
That Colston Loveland touchdown is exactly what you're talking about, where he's rolling around and just he flicks the ball. He flicks it. It goes 40 yards, and Colston Loveland touches it. That was, honestly, 2 weeks in a row. I think we have the two best football games of the year. Because I think that Rams-Seahawks game and then that 49ers-Bears game last night, even that Bills-Eagles game, I loved. It was a low-scoring, rainy, sloppy kind of game, but it was a fun game to watch. It was incredible. You know, and you're right, because that combination of the coach and quarterback, which is obviously the most important thing, to find a guy to unlock Caleb Williams like Ben Johnson has, Bears' future is extremely bright. And I think it kind of comes back to where the Browns are at, where you sit there and you say, take that. Everybody goes, well, you have the top pick. It doesn't guarantee you your quarterback is going to be good or you're going to pick the right guy. No, but you got to start your evaluation. You're not. Nobody's going to hand you a quarterback. Nobody's just going to walk up and go, hey, here's your franchise quarterback. You've been stuck in purgatory for 25 years since you've come back, 26 years at this point. Here's your – no, you have to trust your evaluation. Tyvus, what you mentioned is the first thing I will start with. Does the guy have arm talent? Does that guy have arm talent? Can he move a little bit? Sure, that would help. Does he have the accuracy? We can kind of work on that as we go through. Does he have the arm talent? Does he have size and arm talent? Because I'm done with guys under 6. I don't want anybody under 6'2", to be honest with you, anymore, playing quarterback.
It's funny because you talk about arm talent and, you know, people saying that Fernando Mendoza is better than Cam Ward. First of all, I'm not in that same camp. I believe Cam Ward is very special. But did you see this post about Fernando Mendoza? Real quick, says 27 of his 33 touchdowns came against Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Michigan State, UCLA, Wisconsin, and Purdue. The other 6 were against Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. He combined for 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in these games. So to me, what does that mean? When he plays a talented group or a good defense or a good defensive team, he's really not that great.
Well, and any talent evaluator in the NFL will tell you they'll weigh those games heavier. They weigh those games heavier. And we'll see what happens coming up this week because they're back on the docket too, and they got a game coming up. And it is craziness, not just with the playoffs and the fact that we somehow now have 2 division games next week on the line, but also the playoffs, or excuse me, the draft standings and what goes on with all that. It's coming up. But we also had a crazy game yesterday, and it all came down to one decision. Do you go for 2? The Bills, the Eagles. We'll recap it all. Just kicking things off. It's T-Bone and Tyvus this morning with you here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
When you need a mini excavator or a not-so-mini excavator, lean on Green, Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and hardest working equipment experts in Columbus, we can help you take a big step toward a mini excavator in one of 17 different sizes, from 2,000 to 18,000-pound machines, with 6 to 24 feet of reach and 5 to 15 feet digging depth. Though in the most rental locations, and it's no wonder the Columbus builders who are building Columbus lean on Green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now is the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
Finish the year with your dream kitchen with help from Menards. Transform everyday spaces into gathering places with custom craft countertops from Menards. Countertops are the center of the home, and we offer stylish options with durability that will last for years to come. Check out our kitchen showrooms in-store or visit Menards.com and get a free design estimate today. Plus, view our weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new Toyota. Now through January 5th, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $279 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, it's Berm here. 2 weeks into Awaken 180 and I'm down 14 pounds. Imagine starting your new year dropping that type of weight your first 2 weeks. Success right out of the gate with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Getting a live Christmas tree to plant after the holidays? Well, here are some tips. In the house, keep it away from heat sources that could wake it up out of dormancy. You don't want that. Dig your hole now before the ground freezes. Or if you plan to wait till spring, you need to protect roots from extreme cold with mulch or straw. And move it from the warm house to an unheated area like a garage temporarily to make the transition outside more gentle. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies and breezy winds to kick off the day with wake-up temperatures in the 20s, but feels like dropping anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees. For today, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and still gusty winds with daytime highs near 30. And then for tonight, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and cold and blustery with gusty winds and lows in the 20s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
It's Reaction Monday, where our highly trained experts talk football.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Your home for reaction and overreaction, The Fan. One of these men is bald and fat. The other is T-Bone. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
I heard a coach say one time that they'll always second guess you. You only care when it goes wrong. And I wonder if that's Sean McDermott this morning after the Bills fall to the Eagles last night, a decision that came back to him. He's Tyvis, pal. I'm Matt Fontaine for T-Bone. I'm not bald. I do feel fat, Tyvis, because
I told you.
I know, man.
I told you about this.
I sang you that. I sang just sitting there with 3 plates eating. And then we had dinner because my wife's birthday is around this time of the year, as is her father. So we had a nice dinner with the family. Dude, we went to an Italian restaurant Saturday. I put on a display. I was hurting after that dinner. Then they go, wait a minute, it's birthdays here. We have to bring out dessert for everybody. I'm like, well, I'm not going to pass up on coffee gelato over here.
Wow. Tell me that you are at least going to the gym.
I am going to the gym. I am. I don't know about this week, but we'll see how it goes. You know, we got to get up early for this. We got the kids, little time off, but I usually am a pretty consistent goer of the gym as much as I can. I mean, you got kids, you know.
Well, you know, I'm gonna let you know something.
Yeah.
After Thursday, the gym is gonna be packed. You know, it's the new year, new me people are gonna go in there and it's gonna be flooded.
So I am one of those people that, like, you know, I've been going to the gym pretty much my whole life. And I respect and appreciate people that want to make that decision to get in there and want to, you know, that, like, I feel like they never really kind of bother me with, because some of the equipment that I use, that's not really, like, for beginners. Like, the people that just start in the gym, they go do the landmine, you know, thing that you stick in the corner, do landmine presses and stuff. I do that. They have a hack squat machine. Like, hopefully they kind of stay away. But even if they're in there, you know what? Good for them. I hope they stick with it. And I don't know. My gym clears out pretty quick, though. Plus, I go at like 8:30 at night.
Oh, ain't nobody gonna be in there.
It's
you either gotta go super early, like I'm talking like 5 a.m, or you gotta go super late.
Yeah, that's my wife goes, why don't you just go in the morning? And I was like, I hate waking up. She knows this about me. Like, I am not, which is ironic that I love doing the show with you in the mornings because I hate waking up. I am bad in the mornings. So why don't you go this morning? I'm like, I'd rather just go at night. But then the problem is I go at night. And then you get the blood flowing and pumping it.
And now it's hard to go to sleep.
Time to go to sleep. Time to go to sleep. And you're like, well, that's not going to happen.
I've always been a first thing I do in the morning type of guy. Until I started this job. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
But I always like to just get up and get it out the way because it's like it wakes you up and it just makes the rest of the day go smoothly for me.
Oh, for sure. 100%. But yeah, so it's going to have to happen. I'm actually, I think I need like a fast. I need to do like a 2-day fast to get over the holidays and get it all through. But only one holiday to go, and then we'll be in the clear and ready for the new year. Yesterday, Tyvus, what'd you make of the decision by Sean McDermott to go for 2 in that Bills-Eagles game? It was, I don't know, I like those kind of games, and I'm up here in Cleveland. Like, I know the Browns are building a dome. I know people would tell me that watching that game in the rain and the cold, like that, you don't like that. It's not football. I'm going to sit there. I'm like, I love it. It's my favorite thing. I'd sit in it if I could.
You're conning yourself. You're lying to yourself.
No,
you know why? This is the part that makes me laugh. Where did you watch yesterday's game, Browns game?
On my couch.
That's the problem right there. See, now, why didn't you go to the game?
I mean, I didn't have to work yesterday for it, and didn't have my kids are at that age too where I can't really take them to the game yet, but I will one day.
Would you take them in terrible conditions?
Yeah, if they dress properly, sure.
No, you
make sure they're dressed. I would.
No, you're not.
Put snow pants on.
Why? Stop lying to you. No, you will not. You will not do such thing.
If the Browns were good, if they were in a playoff hunt and somebody bestowed me tickets, hell yeah, I'm taking the kids. Put your stuff on. Put your park on. And we're going down to the game. I'm gonna miss it. Like, I understand. I'm not standing in the way of the dome. I'm not standing in the way of them getting all the events that they think they're going to get and all that kind of stuff. But there is an element of, like, the snow playoff games. You'll never have that again. Games like that yesterday where I get that you want to watch Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. You want to see 500 points. You want to see the game that you saw last night between the Bears and the 49ers. You say, well, you wouldn't get that game if it was raining and cold there. I understand that. But every so often – I like watching a game like that. I have fun watching a game like that.
You will. You know why? Because it's not all 32 teams don't have domes. So you still will get that aspect as a Browns fan. Just when you come to the Browns game at home, you will be comfortable and you can watch a nice show and not have to worry about the elements. See how great that's going to be?
When I walk into the stadium in a couple of years and I see it, I'm going to say this is great, and I'm happy that they did it. But, again, one day out of the year, one day out of maybe every couple of years that you get a game like that, sure, I'm passing up on that. You're right, there's others. But think about it, other teams in the Midwest and in the North, like the only bad weather outdoor stadiums are eventually only going to be Seattle, Buffalo, and New York. And I'll give you Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati gets some weather. That's it. Chicago's got a dome now. Browns are going to have a dome. Lions already have one. Vikings already got one.
I don't. You saying this like it's a problem. I don't understand where you see the problem, man. As a former athlete, or excuse me, I'm still an athlete. As a former football player, I can appreciate not having to worry about the elements. I can go out there and play and not have to think about code or anything like that. That's what you want. You're going to be able to give the people a show.
When you were a kid, when you were playing like backyard football and turkey bowl and all that, you never liked playing in the snow. You never liked playing in the weather.
No. No, I don't. No. You know why? Because it's a lot of things that you just don't want to do. You don't want to do.
Wasn't it snowing in the last time you played the team up north? Wasn't it snowing last time you guys played Michigan?
No.
Wasn't it?
No. The only game that it snowed like bad was the Minnesota game where JT had the slowest 70-yard touchdown run that the world has ever seen, and we were miserable in that game. Right. Miserable.
Tyvus' pro dome. So what do you think of the game yesterday between the Bills and the Eagles where it was, I don't know, again, I thought it was electric. I thought it was fun.
To see all that rain at the beginning of the game, no, it was boring. It's boring.
It was perfect.
It's boring.
Because the Eagles, they had nothing in that second half. I think somebody said a tweet out, they either had 40 or 70. I can't remember. They only had 40 or 70 yards
That's
in the second
boring.
half. So, no, it let the Bills back into the game. And then it was then you got a final play.
That's my point right there, man, is that you'll say that the reason that the Bills came back is because they were able to because of the elements. I don't want that to be no. I want you to know that I beat you because I'm better than you, not because you was better in the rain than me. Like that. What is that? No. So you mean tell me that if we played in a dome, I would beat you? Like you'll have that thought. Everybody will have those feelings that, oh, if they played in the sun, then the Eagles would just run away with it, or the Bills would have won like that. I don't want to hear that. That's why I'd rather the elements just be controlled. We all know what it is, and we both go out there and not have to worry about the elements, and we just go out there and win the game.
Fair enough. I mean, I think there's also, when you talk about getting down to the playoffs, that happens in the playoffs too. And there are people that argue the playoffs should be the one area that shouldn't be the case, and you want the best team to advance. What do you think of the Bills' decision to go for two? They were held scoreless until the fourth quarter. Then Josh Allen just does his Superman, best impersonation there. It was only one touchdown for the Eagles on their side of things. And there was a lot of people that were screaming, Tyvus, the Bills should have just kicked the extra point, gone to overtime, because the Eagles' offense was completely stagnant in that second half. I mean, again, you can always second guess it because it went bad, but what do you think of the Bills' decision to go for two at the end?
I had no problem with that at all because they had the momentum,
Yes.
and I think that you got to carry that momentum. That's, this is the fight up against analytics and gut feeling. Gut feeling, my team is rolling right now. We hot. Like, we just marched down and we just scored twice. Like, yeah, let's go for it. Like, I think that was the right call. However, when you look at the play, if Josh Allen, actually, it was really just Josh Allen just missed the throw because Shakir was wide open in the back of the end zone, and he just he led it too far. So everything that they wanted, the play design was good, and everything. The Eagles did a good job of getting some pressure on him on that play. Causing him to have some happy feet, but he's got to do a better job of setting his feet and delivering that ball. If he does that, then he's a hero, and everybody's not even talking about this. But it's only the fact that they didn't get it. But to me, I like the play call. The guy was open, Josh Allen. Him being one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you expect him to make that connection and make that throw, and he just missed.
That's kind of why I like the play call, to be honest with you, because you got 22 guys on that field, and if you ranked all 22 of them by who you would expect to screw up in that situation, Josh Allen is probably at worst 22, at best 21. You could run that play 10 times in a row. Josh Allen probably makes that play. If it's open like that 9 times, this is just the 10th one that he missed. But call-wise, it worked out. It just, your guy didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Harry Loomis with us this morning as well. And you're right, Harry, because, to both of your guys' point, it worked. It worked. You put it on the best guy. You said, hey, this is what we're going to do, and you just didn't execute. And I think going to overtime kind of comes back to, Tyvus, the weather, and I'll give you that. Josh Allen fumbled twice, right? You go to overtime, you take the ball. I know most teams want to get it second, but one snap, one fumble, and it's going back the other way, and the game's already over. I thought it was also a great scenario that both those teams were fighting, but they're both locked into the playoffs. You know what I mean? I know the Bills ended up they've lost the East already, and it's going to go to the Patriots. And I can't wait to do this later with you guys. We're going to run through all the divisions. The most shocking division in football right now, we already know, the Patriots take it down. The fact that the Chiefs aren't even going to make the playoffs, so it's all of it coming up. But that game was just a good old scrap. That was just a scrap. We want to win this game. It felt like a playoff game. It felt like a borderline Super Bowl with an AFC, NFC team, other than the bad weather, because they'll never do that ever again. But it was a fun game to watch, and that's the thing. You put it on your best guy, and there was somebody open. They just didn't connect.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's football. The good news is it doesn't hurt them in the long run. Obviously they wanted to win the division. Obviously they didn't do that, so they'll play on the road in the playoffs. But so what? They got the best quarterback in the AFC, so they should be fine.
Well, speaking of one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, that is Joe Burrow. Have the Bengals all of a sudden been able to stave off some of his anger, his being upset, because they smoked the Cardinals yesterday. And have they maybe saved Zach Taylor's job that was never in jeopardy? We'll talk some Bengals coming up here in just 2 minutes on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Need help recovering from the holidays? Get a holiday loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. BMIFCU.org/holiday loan.
Colin Man here for Germain Nissan. You'd have to be crazy not to consider a Nissan from Germain Nissan, especially this month during their annual final sale, where every car's been marked down to the lowest possible price. Plus, with Germain's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Nissan for less. J.D. Powers ranked Nissan #1 in customer satisfaction among mainstream brands. No credit, bad credit, Germain Nissan can help you get in a car today. Germain Nissan, 4300 Morse Road, GermainNissan.com.
No school means no lunch for millions of kids in the summer. Let's come together, food banks, families, and generous individuals like you to make sure no child goes without food in the summer. Together, we can make a difference. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/summer.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hi, this is Martina McBride. With online news, social media, and texting available 24/7, the world seems to be spinning faster and faster every day. And it can be overwhelming. Sometimes we just need to unplug and take a break from our electronic devices. It can help reduce stress and allow us to reflect on the things that are really important in our lives.
This message brought to you courtesy of the United States Air Force.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Just a reminder, Tyvis thinks all pizza tastes the same. Also a reminder, Tyvis was born without taste buds. You're listening to Bone and Tyvis.
Big win for the Bengals yesterday. Should they be feeling better? Should Joe Burrow be feeling better about the situation for Cincinnati heading into the offseason? It's T-Bone and Tyvis this morning. He's Tyvis Powell. I'm Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. And I know it's the Arizona Cardinals who are going to have one of the top picks in the NFL draft coming up. And I know the Bengals have just won 2 in a row against Miami and the Cardinals. But, Tyvis, I feel like Cincinnati, when you watched that game yesterday, that felt like a game that the good Cincinnati Bengals would have done the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bengals, when they were really going, when they were the best team in the AFC, when you felt really good about Joe Burrow, that felt like a game that they would put up a couple of years ago. So I'm wondering here if Joe Burrow wakes up this morning and he's feeling a little bit better about his time in Cincinnati.
Well, I think that, honestly, when you look at this Cincinnati team, and it's going to always be the same thing. It's always going to come down to the fact, can Joe Burrow stay healthy, and can they fix that defense? And obviously those two things have caused them to have the season that they've had. And anytime Joe Burrow gets hurt, this is what's probably going to happen. Although Joe Flacco played well in those while he was gone, you always are going to deal with that when Joe Burrow is not in there. So they have to really go into this offseason, and it's time. There's two things that they got to figure out. They have to figure out the offensive line, and they have to figure out the defense. They got to and I'm not saying that you have to go out there and draft or trade for, 11 guys on defense. You have to get at least 2 impactful guys, especially when it comes to the secondary. You have really no playmakers in that secondary. The only guy that's respectable is Dax Hill. I think. Outside of that, everybody else is kind of a flop. And you're going to lose Trey Hendrickson. And Trey Hendrickson had a huge setback to what he's usually is. Obviously, last year he was the sack leader, and he was in and out of the lineup this year. He just wasn't the same guy this year. So you're going to lose him. So
I'd get a hot take in there and say that's probably not a bad. Trey Hendrickson was always good. He was extremely
underrated, but I understand why they did not want to pay him.
But then what a mistake just not to get rid of him. Like,
I agree
what
with
a
that.
mistake
I agree with that.
That was just
But
such a
does that mean that his trade value wasn't good? Because if somebody came to you, man, if somebody said, "Oh, we'll give you a first round pick for him," he was gone. I don't know.
I would have gotten rid of him in 2 seconds.
He's
for a
gone.
first round pick.
So you don't think Cincinnati would have either like that? So to me, it makes me think that maybe because what is he? What is he? 30? I say pass rushers will always go off the cliff after 30. The only one that probably won't is Myles Garrett, and he's a freak of nature. Outside of that, a lot of pass rushers start declining at 30. So if that's the case, I'm not trying to pay him either. I wouldn't try to pay him no big contract either. So I said that back in the offseason when they were talking about it. I said he's 30, going to be 31. No, I wouldn't give him a long-term deal either, because if you look at the history of pass rushers after 30, they usually regress. And that's kind of what we're seeing. So it's going to be hard for him. Now, he can go be a nice complimentary DN to somebody. You know, I think if he goes and pairs up with like Max Crosby or something like that, I think he could be very effective or something like that.
Max a little bit later, because boy, he pissed.
Yeah, I seen that.
I don't blame him. We'll get to that coming up later. But like the Hendrickson thing, like my thing was, he's a good player. It's going to come off like I'm sounding like some kind of jerk. There's in no world that I ever thought he was on the level of Micah Parsons, T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett. Like, he was always in that next tier. And I get that the Bengals, like, hey, he is a good player. We did get him out of New Orleans to bring him up here. Like, he's meant a good player. But when he wanted out, just even in the offseason, I would have said it's time to move on. But the problem is, back then, the Bengals thought they were going to go places, right? So you didn't – that was a bad move on an optics standpoint. It was a bad move to sell to Joe Burrow that we're selling this piece off on this defense going into a year that we expect to make the playoffs, run to Super Bowl, all that. Joe gets hurt, then Trey gets hurt, and it's just all off the table. But you talk about that defense, Tyvis, the Bengals go into next season. They will have almost $70 million in cap space, and that's just on the books. We know that can change quickly with owners that, and again, I'm not just taking a shot here at the Brown family. If they want to cut some checks and restructure things, they could create even more contract. But I'm sitting here, as far as cap number, what the number is, and for people that don't know what the cap number is, it's when you add everything up, the base salary, options, restructure. This is the number when you look at whatever the NFL cap space or whatever the salary cap is for next year. These are the only players that are over $10 million for the Bengals next year. Burrow, Higgins, Chase, Orlando Brown, B.J. Hill, and Dax Hill. That's it. Those are the only guys over $10 million against the cap for the Bengals next year. So they should have the cash to go out there and make some free agent splashes, should they, on top of, like you said, Tyvis, which I agree, some draft picks, spend them all in defense. And the Bengals could be right back to one of the best teams in the AFC next year.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that there's not a lot of good free agents this free agency. Right. And that, to me, is the problem. So if they're going to, make some changes to their roster, it's going to have to be via trade in the draft, because when you look at just some of the top free agents, it's just not really – especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's not really any guy out there that I'm like, oh, yeah, you got to go get this guy. Like, that doesn't exist. And if there is a guy like that, then they're 30 or above. So it's like you have to, at this point, they have to find a way to develop young talent. And that's just kind of where they are, is that they haven't done a great job of developing young guys when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, but they got to find a way to hit on that this offseason. So you're asking them to do the one thing that they haven't been able to do, and that's draft well and develop the younger guy and get them ready to play. Haven't been able to do that, which is kind of similar to the Browns too. But yeah, I think that's just where they're going to have to go. So to me, the best thing they could do is probably make a trade for some guy that we didn't even know was going to be traded this offseason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the go time of Joe Burrow and the pressure that he kind of put on them, even with what was said a couple of weeks ago, and he's not having fun playing football. But the pressure that will be on the Bengals, because it is Joe Burrow, because he is in his prime. And the last thing that you want to do is look back on it and say, Joe Burrow was here for 15 years. We made the Super Bowl in his third season, second full season starting, and that was it. Never made it again. Like, you have this window of opportunity to get back there because you have the most important position completely taken care of. You have two dynamic receivers. It's kind of crazy to sit there and say, like, is it just going to be the defense that holds you back? And I know it's never as easy as looking at, like, the Lions, right? The Lions have one of the best overall rosters that you could sit there and point. They're going to finish in the same spot as the Bengals are, right? You're going to say, well, they got Aiden Hutchinson, and they got all these guys in the secondary. Terrion Arnold, I know injured, but that's kind of my point. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, they all got hurt. Now, what's the difference? You had them, but they got hurt versus the Bengals that just don't really have them. You're going to end up in the same spot. So it's just that roll of the dice. But having Burrow there, I think it changes a lot of things. I think it's going to push the Bengals to sit there and say, we have to make a splash because we need to keep him happy. And some people might say, well, that's bad. You can't placate to one player. In this situation, you kind of do. In this situation, when it's Joe Burrow and your franchise quarterback, you got to do some things to make him happy.
Yeah, they got to figure out the tackle situation. But they want to look for a center. I don't know who their center is. If they need a center, Tyler Lindenbaum from Baltimore will be a free agent this year.
Harris was their center. I think he's going to finish it out there. But yeah, they drafted Mims. He seems to be fine. They paid Orlando Brown, Fairchild. But the thing is, you can sit there and we watched that Chase Brown game yesterday. What a steal he's been. You don't need. I'm putting too much on it here, but you get what I'm saying. They don't need to waste a second looking for a skilled position player.
No,
they don't.
I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, they need some corners for sure.
Oh no, yeah, offense. I'm talking receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, and running backs.
Well, they didn't pay them all.
They're done. They're good. They found Yoshiva. They found Chase Brown. Don't even waste it. So you're right. Every dollar and every pick that you have, you spend on the. I frankly think the defensive side, maybe some offensive line. It's kind of the same thing with the Browns, Tyvis. I sit here and I say this offseason, do not spend $1 or a pick on anything on defense.
What if the Browns, with the 6th pick, selected Caleb Downs?
Oh, okay, now because it would be Ronnie Hickman's spot, who I'm also a big fan of, out of the Ohio State University. Don't do that to me.
I think he's a free agent this year. That's why I'm saying that.
No, they got to re-sign Ronnie. I think he might be an exclusive rights free agent, or at least a restricted free agent.
I think he might. I think he's a restricted.
I think he's a restricted free agent too, because he was an undrafted guy, and they found him. But don't do that to me, because I want a receiver. I want a lineman. Like, that's the thing. I don't need anything on defense. If the Browns ran this defense back next year with every single player, and by the way, pretty much everybody is under contract or will be. They got to re-sign MJ Emerson. He's injured. And I think Shelby Harris maybe on the D-line.
Is Malik Collins still under contract?
He's got a 2-year deal. He's good for next year.
That's the best thing they could have did.
They might want to throw him some more years on how he played before he got injured. But I don't need – and then if they could somehow – I don't know how it's going to go – get Jeremiah Usu-Koromo to come back.
They get
you play alongside
JOK ain't playing ever again, but if he did,
I don't think he is. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. But it's the same thing. The Bengals and the Browns, they're stuck in this paradox, right? If you put the Browns defense with the Bengals offense, they'd go 17-0. And the two teams need to do the complete exact opposite. The Bengals need to spend every dollar and pick on defense, and the Browns need to spend every single dollar and pick they have on offense. And I mean, that's just the world that we live in. So maybe there's some trades that they can work up and kind of get it done. Well, speaking of money getting thrown around, Michigan threw some money at Kyle Whittingham on Friday. He has officially been hired as the new head coach for the team up north, and he's going to have to learn a little bit about being the Michigan head coach, and he admitted that. We'll get to it coming up right here. T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Breathe. You got this. You got it.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
They say glory is earned, not given. We say it's ignited by heart and ends with a boom. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
EYECARE?
Good. Next row.
AM America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. Eye Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
Cancer screening can save your life. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with the doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus. Or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
Hey, Aaron, what New Year's resolutions are you and I making this year?
Are you saying that I'm supposed to make New Year's resolutions for both of us?
Aaron, you know that thing where someone buys a gift and then someone else comes along and says, tell them it's from both of us.
Yeah?
Well, I invented that.
Jerry, I'll share my New Year's resolutions with you, but only if you promise to follow through on every one of them.
You've got it, Aaron.
Resolution number 2. I resolved to figure out new ways to make plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians more affordable for everyone.
Like how we give everyone $500 in free plumbing services whenever they buy a new water heater?
That's right, because every unexpected expense should be softened by an unexpected gift.
Like how we give people back all the money they paid us to repair their old HVAC system when they finally replace it with a new one?
That's right, up to $1,500.
We really care about people.
That's right, Jerry, and that's always resolution number 1.
Get ECO. ECO. All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems in Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sometimes when Tyvus wears khaki pants, I can see the outline of his genitals. There's no joke there. It's just an observation.
God, the more I resist, the more intriguing they become. I can't look away.
You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvus.
Well, Michigan's made their move. Is it the first guy on their list? No. Was it the second guy on their list? No, that's okay as well, because it's Kyle Whittingham as the new Michigan head coach. And I'm sure that they were just happy to get him, even though he wasn't their first choice. He's Tyvus Powell. I'm Matt Fontana. We're always your first choice right here on The Fan with T-Bone and Tyvus. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. And it comes out Friday that it moves so fast, too, Tyvus. Like, you and I, we broke the news on the show. I looked at you and I said, hey, this is happening here. Pete Thamel, ESPN comes down, and they go, at Michigan turned all their attention to Kyle Whittingham. And then by the afternoon, the deal was done. He gets introduced, and he's now the head coach of the University of Michigan. And, I think the timing on that is all you need to know. Whittingham, I'm not saying step down at Utah because he felt like this job potentially could be open for him, because I think he stepped down before the Sherrod Moore stuff came down. So it's not like he would ever know, unless he maybe knew, how that was all going to go. But I think it was a marriage of convenience. I can't sit here and throw flowers at Michigan going, hey, great hire. Like, I like Kyle Whittingham. Do I think he's ready for that job? No. Is he going to be in that job in 5 years? I doubt it. They had nobody else. There was nobody left standing at the dance. They grabbed Kyle Whittingham. He's the head coach. Congratulations.
I'm not sure where Tyvis is right now, but you kind of mentioned.
Oh, did he have to go to his TV thing?
He might have. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he is. He was kind of.
That's fine.
He was kind of scooting out of here, but
he had to go to his TV thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, to your point, it did kind of seem weird the way Whittingham. It felt like that departure from Utah was pretty quick, and for him, I guess this makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize how old he was. I think he's about 66 years old. So
oh yeah, for sure.
You're never. I mean, for him, it's not like he's ever going to have an opportunity like this again. You might as well see what you can do. And for Michigan too, he seems like kind of like a guy that's going to give you stability, which given the state of Michigan football right now seems like the biggest thing you can have.
No, you're right here. I mean, the only thing that I don't want to say the only thing that they were looking for in this whole situation was a guy just to kind of stabilize some things. But what you need to have, what you had to have was a guy that was a head coach prior, obviously Kyle Whittingham, and somebody that could come in and just get through the next couple of years. Because his introductory press conference, they go, do you dislike Ohio State, Kyle? And he goes, well, I do now. Oh, good one. Oh, well, great. Okay. Yeah, you get the rivalry. Congratulations. Like, that just came off so chachi to me. And he's the guy that I don't think they really care how it goes. Like, I was reading this article about how Kyle Whittingham is going to be graded as the Michigan coach and how it'll inevitably come back to the Ohio State rivalry. And if he can beat the Buckeyes and rewrite history, and I go, they don't really care about that. They don't really care about that. This is just a placeholder for the next guy, because I don't know how Michigan viewed Sherrod Moore, if he was really going to be the next 20-year guy.
No, he was not.
He was not going to be. And I think the Whittingham hire just seems like get us through these couple of years and try to win some games. Sure, we're going to tell everybody that we want to make the college football playoff again and get back to relevancy and push for beating Ohio State. Travis, I don't think that's anything top of mind for them right now. It's just get us through a couple of years and we'll find somebody else to run this thing for the next 15 to 20.
So everybody knows that I'm very hard on Kyle Whittingham, and deep down I do know that he's actually a really good coach, okay?
Sure.
I will say that although I talk about Utah badly and all those things, he has made them very competitive. Where I think he'll thrive is he understands that the game of football always comes down to toughness, grit, physicality, and those are the things that he specializes, especially if you're going to play in the Big Ten. That's what you have to do. Now, I think the difference is at Utah, he didn't have the Johns and the Joes. With the Wolverines, he will have access to getting them. My thing is, can he get that in recruiting? Can he sell those recruits that, hey, come here and we can go on this big type of run? I don't know if the players, high school players, would respect him. Now, he has to go out there. This first season is going to be interesting, because you'll have Bryce Underwood. You still have Andrew Marsh, who's considered to be a first-round pick whenever he decides to come out. So you have, and the run game is always going to be good. So you have the talent to make some noise. My thing with him is what I don't like about him is I don't think he can win the big game. And when I say that, what I mean is this. I can see him getting to, let's say he gets against us. I can see him in the rivalry game going up by 14 points and losing that game. And that to me is what he comes off as, is that he will give you hope. He will make you think that you can win that game. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, he will end up losing it. And that's why I say what I say about him and what I say about Utah, because I've seen that over the years. Now, he obviously can change that and find a way to close out some of those big-time games. But with just watching him over the years and watching Utah over the years, they would have a nice league. Don't get me wrong, they've won a couple of games, but the more so so than not, they'd have the game won and then they'd lose it in the end. And I think if he's bringing that there, he's only going to be there for a handful of years.
I think that's all they want, too. At this point, he was not their number one pick. Like, let's just be clear and honest about that. And it's twofold. It's they got into a bad timing situation because a lot of good head coaches were already spoken for, already made their moves. And you could have gone back to the well of, there's people were bringing up crazy, like, oh, go call Bob Stoops. Like, what's up with go call somebody just to get you through the year. Or, just do the interim tag for a year and kind of move on. But there was Kyle Whittingham just sitting there, and that's why I just think the ultimate thing is this was a marriage of convenience. Kyle Whittingham gets a cash check. That ain't a bad payday for him over there. Cash a check for a couple of years, and Michigan goes, well, we can just kind of get through this. But the problem is that Michigan, I'm not just trying to boil this down to a quarterback because I still think Bryce Underwood can be very good, but like, this is supposed to be an era of competition for them. This is supposed to be an era of, we can actually beat Ohio State, and we're able – now that's all gone. That's shredded. It's absolutely shredded after the Sherrone Moore situation, plus what all the other assistants were doing. I think the cheating scandal is still – not that one, the other one – is still kind of overhanging all of this. Their recruiting classes are going to be nothing. They're going to be nothing for years to come because why would you want to go there with everything that's going on? So I think it's a really hard job for Whittingham to try to stabilize this and actually be competitive. And to your point, Tyvis, I'm with you. Combo that with how Whittingham is in big games. What are they going to do?
I think that, all the stuff that happened is off the field stuff. Like, they're not going to be punished on the field. They're not punished on the field. So you would have to sell it like we're going to keep the things we're going to keep football the main thing. All the off the field issues with Sherrone Moore and all of those things, that's a totally separate thing. All the cheating stuff, that's behind them now. That has nothing to do with him. So I think it's kind of them like this is a clean slate for the program. And if they want people to kind of forget about the other stuff that happened because they're trying to start fresh and they tried to get somebody that has integrity, that's doing it the right way. And Kyle Whittingham fits that narrative.
Again, just to stabilize, we'll get you through it, and we'll see where we're at on the other side. All right, we're finally here. It's Ohio State-Miami week. We'll get ready to go. It's been a long haul since we've seen the Buckeyes on the field, but we're just a couple days away from it. We'll talk about it. He's Tyvis Powell. I'm Matt Fontana with you this morning here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Bring more party to your New Year's Eve and game day gatherings with Meijer. Save big on celebration staples like extra large avocados, now only 99 cents each. Specialty charcuterie meats are buy one, get one 30% off. 12 packs of select Coca-Cola and Pepsi products are buy two, get one free, plus deposit where applicable. And Meijer potato and tortilla chips are 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. Bring more good to your holiday and game day festivities with Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $150 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, and player props.
$150 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Hey, Jackets fans, we know what's on your holiday wish list. Ask your Secret Santa for a Blue Jackets holiday gift pack. You'll score 2 tickets plus a Blue Jackets Honda shirt. Learn more at bluejackets.com/holiday.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place, and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. It was a nice Sunday for both the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. For the second week in a row, Joe Burrow throws for over 300 yards. He tosses 2 touchdowns, both to Jamar Chase, and the Bengals hammer the Arizona Cardinals 37-14. The defense was great for the Browns. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. That Steelers loss and the Ravens win on Saturday night sets up a winner-take-all game for the AFC North next week. Kirill Marchenko scored 2 goals, including the game winner. The Columbus Blue Jackets beat the New York Islanders 4-2 last night. The Jackets back at it tonight in Ottawa, taking on the Senators at 7. Pre-game coverage on The Fan gets underway at 6:30. This one brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This new year, don't set a goal without a clear course to results. Drop weight your first week and every week. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Tyvis Powell helped the Buckeyes win a national championship. T-Bone watched Tyvis Powell help the Buckeyes win a national championship. Equally important. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Well, I hope to be watching the next generation of Buckeyes win a national championship this year, and it all starts this Wednesday against the Miami Hurricanes. Matt Fontaine for T-Bone this morning. He, of course, is national champion Tyvis Powell. We're finally here, man, and it's been such a long 3 weeks, 4 weeks, feels like 4 months, and you mentioned a little earlier about getting that taste out of your mouth about the Indiana loss, and I think that was kind of the theme you heard from Julian Sayin, Max Clare, some of the other guys last week as they get ready to go for the Miami Hurricanes. And, Tyvis, like, I do look at it where I want to avenge that, but I kind of chalk it up to the same thing as the Michigan loss 2 years ago. Like, yeah, that sucks. I would have liked to have won it, but my goals are so much bigger. And frankly, always have been, of going to win a national championship game. And again, I say this as an Ohio State fan, like, I look at that Indiana win in the Big Ten championship game, much like I did the Michigan win 2 years ago, and I go, Ohio State just didn't play well. Like, you got to give credit to your opponent, but I don't want to. I don't want to sit there and I go, that was more on the Buckeyes than their opponent. Good. Learn a little bit. Clean it up and go win the Natty, and that's what I expect the Buckeyes to do.
Honestly, I like the fact that they face some adversity because, everybody kept saying all year that this team hasn't played anybody, and when they play somebody, that we don't know how they would respond with adversity and all of those things, blah, 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 blah. So I was glad that they had a chance to play Indiana, and the win or loss doesn't matter to me. I mean, you want to win the Big Ten championship. That's one of the goals. So, yes, you are upset at the fact that you don't win the Big Ten championship, especially when it's been 5 years since you've been to the Big Ten championship and you wanted to absolutely jump over this opportunity. But the reason that people should feel encouraged by that game is that was the worst we've seen them play all year.
Correct. They lost. No, not even a debate.
They lost by 3 points.
Yes, with a chance. And again, I'm not bringing this up. Like, I trust Jaden Fielding to make a kick in the future here, but you had a chance to take that into overtime, and there were other mistakes in that game. 1,000%.
Like, the worst they looked, and yet the best team in the country beat them by just 3 points. So, to me, it goes back to that thing where, like, the only team that's going to beat the Buckeyes is the Buckeyes. That's it. If they go out there and play their game and they're on it, there's nothing that anybody can do about it to stop them. So, to me, I just want to see how they respond from that, because this is the first adversity they face. How do you really find out about a team in the face of adversity and how you respond to that adversity? And this is the first time we'll get a chance to see that. Last year, they responded the best way you possibly could. They realized that they were the best team in college football, and they went out there and showed you that nobody in the country can mess with us when we play our game. We need that same response from them. And the good news is some of the guys that were contributors last year are still here. Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, all of those guys were there last year. So they have to lead the charge on these younger guys, getting them up to speed to be ready to go out there and dominate. It is a mentality that nobody can mess with us. Don't even play around with it. Let's go out there and let's get it done ASAP so we can go move on to the next game. And if they take that mentality to each game, they will be hosting the trophy whenever that game is, into January or wherever the heck it is.
And I started to, January. It'll be in March eventually before you know it, because they're just going to add 1,000 games to the playoffs, and that they just want football to be a year-round sport. I get it. I totally understand. Travis, like that feeling too about the build-up to this, and you talk about the mentality and kind of the momentum where, I'm just a fan, so it's hard for me to sit here, like, twiddling my thumbs, getting anxious, ready for the game. But honestly, I started to feel it last week. Like, eventually, okay, we know it's Miami, because there was the uneasiness, like, was it Miami or was it Texas A&M? And I was feeling good about either team. And as we talked about on last week's show, to be honest with you, I was happy that it was Miami, because I thought Texas A&M provided a little bit more challenge than the Hurricanes. Okay, it's Miami. We can focus on them. We know who we're playing. We can start to get our game plan ready to go. But just maybe it was hearing the guys last week in media availability and know that, like, they left for Dallas yesterday. They're there now. Like, I'm starting to feel that wave, the build of it towards this game. And I have to imagine it's the same thing for the players, where you sit around. Practice was different. I was talking about this with Patrick Murphy on the Buckeye show, and Murph was like, "Yeah, it's hard because these guys are just sitting around for a couple of weeks."
Yeah, you know what
you know
happens
better than anybody.
You know what happens when you sit around like that? You get tired of it.
Yeah, you get
You're
antsy,
like,
fidgety,
I'm tired. I done watched all this tape on this team. There is nothing you can show me. We didn't practice. I'm tired of going against the same scout team and doing the same thing. Let's just get to the game. Like, that's where you get, especially when you got 20-something days. I remember, obviously, I was there for bowl practices and all those things when I played. Like, to sit there and have to practice. Like, when we played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, it's like we practiced like a whole month. And I'm like, bro, let's just play the game. Like, I'm so tired of looking at film and going to all these meetings and stuff. Like, I just want to play in the game at this point. I think that's where, especially if you lost your last game, like you are anxious to get back out there to right that wrong. And I love the fact that everybody paints this narrative that Miami is just more dominant in the trenches. Their offensive line is better. Their defensive line is better. All of those things. So, like, if I'm in the trenches, because when you playing in these games where you're going up against some of these good teams, it always comes down ultimately to who wins in the trenches. Like, that's just football 101. That's just the beginning of time. That when you got two great teams going against each other, the battle of the trenches is what separates the win and the loss. I love the fact that they are making Ohio State look like they are not any good against Miami's trenches. They have a chance to go out there and right that wrong. And the only reason that they're saying that is because of the way the offensive line played against Indiana. That is the only reason that they're making this assumption that they can't handle Miami's defense. So they got all the motivation in the world to go out there and prove them wrong, because when you look on the defense side of the ball, our defensive side of the ball, like, there's a lot of guys in those trenches that could be first-round picks or can be NFL starters next year in the trenches. So I'm interested to see. I know they have they got the tackle that's projected to be a high draft pick at
Bain.
some point. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that battle plays out.
So I got to bring up this one statty stat. It's really in the numbers for everybody that likes this. So I saw this because it's like getting ready for the game. You talk about the pass rush for Miami, right? So Miami comes into this game with the second most pressures and sacks, 2.5 seconds under drive. So again, imagine 1,001, 1,002, half sack. Second most in the nation, the Miami Hurricanes. Now, I bring that up to say this. Julian Sayin, when releasing passes 2.5 seconds or less, he had a 90 PFF grade and completed 80% of his passes. Both of those were top 6 FBS quarterbacks this past season. So they brought that up to say, you're right, everybody's worried about Miami's pass rush and getting there quick. Oh, wait. Julian Sayin's one of the best quick-release quarterbacks in college football this past season. So watch that matchup. It's going to be pretty big. All right, last night was a great matchup for the Jackets. They score late. They get the win. They're right back at it tonight. Very excited. Bob McElligott going to join us next. He's the voice of the Jackets. We'll talk some hockey next year on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
The morning drive doesn't look too bad. We have an accident on the north side on I-71 northbound at 17th Avenue. It is off on the right side, though, so no big backups, just a minor slowdown here. Also watch for the construction on the west side. I-70 westbound between Hilliard Rome Road and State Route 142. The 2 left lanes are blocked here. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Colin Man here for Germain Nissan. You'd have to be crazy not to consider a Nissan from Germain Nissan, especially this month during their annual final sale, where every car's been marked down to the lowest possible price. Plus, with Germain's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Nissan for less. J.D. Powers ranked Nissan #1 in customer satisfaction among mainstream brands. No credit, bad credit, Germain Nissan can help you get in a car today. Germain Nissan, 4300 Morse Road, GermainNissan.com.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early, bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead, and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
Save big money on new appliances when you shop at Menards. We have an excellent in-stock appliance selection from great brands at the best prices, ready to take home today. Whether you want new laundry appliances or need upgrades for your kitchen, you'll be sure to find appliances that'll make your life easier. Visit Menards and save big money on appliances today. Plus, check out Menards.com to view all of our great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
It's Monday Night Football on the Fan 2. Catch the Panthers and Falcons live from Atlanta. Fan coverage starts Monday at 7:30 on 1460 AM and the Fans HD2.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, the Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies and breezy winds to kick off the day with wake-up temperatures in the 20s, but feels like dropping anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees. For today, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and still gusty winds with daytime highs near 30. And then for tonight, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and cold and blustery with gusty winds and lows in the 20s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The best thing about watching football this weekend, talking football on Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. T-Bone and Tyvis present Talking Jackets. Talking Jackets.
There's a score! A turnover by the Islanders and Adam Fantilli. One more time. Puts it in the net.
You look inside the world of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Oh, we needed that one last night for the Jackets. They get a nice 4-2 win over the Islanders down late. Provorov threw some legs. Kirill Marchenko gets it in. We're happy to be talking Jackets with Bob McElligott. I'm Matt Fontanian for T-Bone this morning. He is Tyvis Powell. And, Bob, what a win for the Jackets last night. Off the break, I know they beat the Kings right beforehand, but I got to tell you, that just felt good to get some momentum going for them. They're right back at it tonight. Like, I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to this team, Bob. They're one of my favorite teams. And I just want them to capture some of that momentum because I feel like they have the talent to make the playoffs.
Tell you what, Matt, what was so different about last night is it's 2-1, and there's under 5 minutes left in the third period. And from a fan standpoint, even, I'm sitting upstairs, I'm like, I can't believe this is going to happen again. It's a 1-goal game, and it didn't feel like there was any momentum. And all of a sudden, Provorov shoots a puck, and it bounces off 2 different people and winds up in the net. And then Marchenko comes down and scores. In a blink of an eye, you go from being down 1 to being up 1. It was such the 180 degrees from the third periods that have been going on here for the last month or so. So, yeah, you're right. That was a big win. And coming off the break, and, the Islanders had played the night before, so they kind of shook the rust off before they got into Columbus. So it was good for the Blue Jackets to do that. It was really good for the Blue Jackets to do that. And, again, they've won 2 games without Zach Werenski in their lineup, and that's absolutely huge.
Well, let's talk about a guy that was in the lineup, Matthew Olivier. How about that? How was his impact back on the ice? I know he didn't score anything, but obviously he's much more than just somebody that scores.
Well, he is. There's no doubt, Tyvis. He brings energy to the team. He's a factor, for other teams. They know that he's there. If you want to do something, and there was a little bit of some rough stuff in that game last night. Mason Marchment, who's playing in his first home game, was involved in all of that. But the Islanders knew that Matthew Olivier is out there. So, if you want to do something to somebody, you better watch what that something is, because there's a guy there. By the way, Titus, we finally figured this out. All we needed was T-Bone to take a week off. To do this in a positive atmosphere and not after losses and all that stuff, right? They figured it out.
Look at that.
Bob, I'm available. I'll make any sacrifice for the Jackets to make the playoffs. I am more than available.
We don't need none of him. We don't need none of Bone and Dylan's negativity in here.
Send him away. I will send that up the chain of command here. It's for the betterment of the Jackets, Bob. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, what would he care if they tell him to take every Monday off?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. He's Bob McElligott joining us here after a big win for the Jackets last night. And you mentioned Mason Marchment, and it just kind of the Bob, just the refreshment, the hey, we believe in this team, we're invested in this team, and we're going. Do you think that's enough for this team to kind of keep pushing forward? Or obviously with Zach's injury, which we hope isn't super long term, like, do you see this team potentially with more moves coming up, after the holiday freeze?
I think there could be. I think they'll, they may finally do something with the Chinakhov situation. He's not playing. He asked for a trade in the summertime. They've given him opportunities. To me, when he's had the opportunities, he hasn't taken advantage of them. I'm not saying you're going to trade him and get a player. You might just get picks back, but you just gave picks up to get Mason Marchment. But to be honest with you, Matt, getting Marchment, look, it's only been 3 games, okay? But he just injects a little bit of a spark. The team did something. I think the players felt like, you've got to do something, and they did, and he's producing. And, it's funny because you go back to the L.A. game last Monday, and here we are in the third period battling in a 1-goal game, and, you could feel like, oh, boy, here it is again, the third period. Don't let this slip away. And Mason Marchment, he hadn't dealt with any of that stuff with his team in the last couple of weeks. He's just out there playing. And I think that was a good thing for this team, just to see somebody that was like, what's the problem here? Let's just go win this game. It's helping that he's getting points. There's no question about it. So do I think there could be more moves? I do. I don't know exactly what they may be. And everything is still so bunched up in the standings that teams are going to be reluctant to make trades because they're going to feel like everybody wants something, but they don't want to give anything up. And they don't want to put themselves in a position where they give somebody up and then they feel that they take themselves out of the playoff race. So that's going to be the tightrope everybody's walking.
Bob, Ottawa is right now, they got Ottawa Senators tonight at 7 p.m. They are on a 2-game losing streak. The Jackets are on a 2-game winning streak. Is that good to catch a team while they're on a losing streak?
Tell you tomorrow, Tyvis. Here's the thing. Okay, they've lost a couple of games. Their top goaltender, Linus Ullmark, just left the team for personal reasons. So, when you look at, and Tyvus, you know this, it's sports. You look at that and you go, wow, they've lost 2 in a row. Their top goaltender just stepped away from the team. This is a perfect opportunity. And, in the meantime, they're looking at it like it's a rallying point. And the Blue Jackets are traveling and having to go in there and play in a back-to-back, and that's always a challenge in this league. But you know what? The way the Blue Jackets are playing, they're finally playing with some confidence. So, look, I think it's a good time. Anytime a team's number one goalie is not going to play, I think that's a good time to catch him. So, like I said, we'll find out later on tonight, but I think it's a good situation. It sets up nicely when you look at it on paper.
And, Bob, last night with Kirill Marchenko to score those 2 goals, and, Fantilli, I really kind of go to Dmitry Voronkov, too, even on that Provorov goal, because he got on that forecheck, he got the puck out there, allowed that shot. Like, that top line for the Jackets, I know the talent there. Do you think that last night could be that real big opener for those guys to start putting up some more points?
I'm glad you brought up Voronkov, because here's what I think. This is my opinion. With Marchman coming in, now he's going on that line with Fantilli and Marchenko, and that's where Voronkov had been. Look, Dmitry Voronkov is a very, very good player. I don't think he's a top-line player on the wing. I think he's better suited a little bit lower in the lineup, and he has to adjust to that. And I think what you saw last night is he is making that adjustment. He's played with Marchenko for so long. Like, it does drive me crazy in some games. I feel like he only tries to pass to Marchenko when he's on the same line with him. Yeah. So take him off that line, let him get with other people, and play with those people. I think that's a good thing. And again, I think that's what you saw last night. And you're right. He's down there and he's battling, and he made a lot of that Provorov goal happen by the way that he was playing in front of the net last night. So, I don't see it as a demotion for Dmitry Voronkov to not be playing with Adam Fantilli. I see it as more balance in these lines for the Blue Jackets, and I like it.
Bob, I want to zoom out a little bit from, the Blue Jackets in a little bit. I want to know, how often do you keep up with, like, Caden Lindstrom and Jackson Smith? I know those guys are in college and playing for college teams, but how often do you keep up with them? I haven't asked how they're doing lately.
Once in a while, to be honest with you. Caden Lindstrom's had a tough season. He's missed some games with injuries again, and not the same back injury that he had before, or back when he was drafted. College has been an adjustment for him. I don't think people understand. You can play as a 20-year-old or 19-year-old in junior hockey, and you can dominate because you're playing against 16-year-olds. You go into the NCAA, and now you're playing against 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. So it's a big adjustment, but it has been it's not been the season the Blue Jackets had hoped to see from him to this point, to be honest with you. Jackson Smith's had a good season. It was disappointing that he didn't make Team Canada for the World Junior Championship that's being played right now. He was one of the final cuts for that, but he's having a good season for Penn State. I don't look at it on an everyday basis, to be honest with you, Tyvus, because I got enough guys I'm keeping track of here.
Right.
But and they're not. And the other thing is, like, you look at the guys in Cleveland because eventually they could get promoted and come in and play some games. And those guys are in college; they are not coming in at all this season. But Lindstrom's been. It's been a bit of a struggle for him. Jackson Smith has been good, though.
Well, Bob, I'm also in for T-Bone tomorrow. So if the Jackets win tonight against the Senators, which I very much hope they do, then maybe we're really cooking with something here.
And I'll tell you what, if that's the case, if they win tonight, I bet you that Jean-Luc Grandpierre will echo my sentiments tomorrow. More days off for T-Bone every week.
Love it. Bob, bring us home a winner tonight, all right? Not because I don't want T-Bone back, but just bring us home a winner tonight for the Jackets' sake, all right?
Wait a minute. You get paid when he's not there, right? Of course you don't want him back.
Exactly. We'll keep
Great
flowing in.
I appreciate it. And Tyvus, have a happy New Year, buddy.
You too, Bob.
There he goes. The great Bob McElligott. Oh, that Tyvus, I think we're on to something. If that's just how it goes.
The code. We cracked the code.
Or it just the show becomes a trio and I just force myself in with you guys.
I tell you what, if they go out there tonight and they win in the third period again, it might be.
Oh, and it's honestly last night was I was watching football, and then I was actually watching because they started at 5:00, and it was really fun to watch the game because I saw a lot of kids there, and I'm like, that's obviously a great time to take it. It's 5:00, you kind of get home before bedtime, and the place as always was rocking, and so I finished the Bills and the Eagles game, and I flipped over to the Jackets, and I was like, same thing Bob was talking about. I had that bad feeling, and then Provorov hit that shot, and I didn't know who it hit. but it went through, and I was like, wow. And then I'm not taking any credit away from Kirill Marchenko because his goal looked it was a backhand that really had no sauce on it. It looked like he flipped it up, and it somehow gets in the back of the goal. But it was a huge win. They need another one tonight. And then again, when that happens, then I'm just going to have to send this up to Timmy and Fish that I'm just going to have to start doing every Monday when the Jackets are in season.
I was impressed with Cole Sillinger's, when they put
that was a long shot.
You see how long that was?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man.
Yeah.
I know it's an empty netter, but man.
No, it's funny because, different coaches will tell you different things. Because in that situation, obviously, you're up. And there's an element of hold on to the puck or look for a pass to kill more time or take the shot. You hit it, it's game over. But if you miss, it's icing. Then they get to bring the puck right back down. You can't make a line change. And he ripped it. And then the crowd reaction, I didn't see it. I didn't see the puck go in. I just saw the crowd react. I was like, all right, let's go. But this team's talented, and I know Zach being injured is that sucks. I felt that's a blow to any team when you lose a player Zach Werenski's talent level. But just unlock something going. I just want them to get back in this fight because everybody's just jumbled up. Like there's a chance for them to still get back into this. So great stuff with Bobby Mack. Really appreciate his time. All right, Overachiever of the Week. We got to hand that out. We'll do it coming up. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's coming up at 7:45. Next, I want to do this with you, Tyvis. The division that shocked us the most, as we look around the NFLs, we're ready to go for the last game of the year coming up, the last game of the regular season. Which division winner has shocked us the most? We'll get to that coming up in just 2 minutes here on T-Bone and Tyvis.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
The morning drive doesn't look too bad. We have an accident on the north side on I-71 northbound at 17th Avenue. It is off on the right side, though, so no big backups, just a minor slowdown here. Also watch for the construction on the west side, I-70 westbound between Hilliard Rome Road and State Route 142. The two left lanes are blocked here. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season. When dessert turns into dinner. And time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth? What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center, where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile.
Including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Toyotathon is on at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. With inventory on the lot and fresh inventory rolling in daily, now is the time to treat yourself before the holidays. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for Toyotathon specials or visit our festive showroom on the corner of Sawmill and 161 in Dublin. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Tyvis has a bum wrist from playing football. Bone has a bum wrist from opening the heavy doors at Sheets. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Sheets always hits, by the way. Never misses. There's few things in life when it comes to like food or restaurant quality and things like that. Tyvis, I love Sheets. It is. I'd go there for meals.
Yeah, Sheets is the cheesecake factory of gas station.
That's a great way to put it. I never thought of it that way. That is an extremely enlightening statement from you because you're right. When I was in high school, like one of my jobs, I worked at a greenhouse in Medina County. Shout out to Matt Hurt and his family. His family's owned this greenhouse since 1923. They've been in business for a long time. So I don't even remember. They had an ad in the paper, and I was like, that sounds like a cool job. So I go work for Matt, doing whatever he could. But there was a Sheets, like, caddy corner, like 5-minute walk I racked up a lot of points on my account. Look at that job. Because they had this chicken Caesar salad wrap at Sheetz, and I would, every day. Couldn't be beat.
They got a chicken Caesar salad wrap at
They
Sheetz?
do, dude. It's sneaky good.
I
love a good chicken Caesar
I might have to
salad
put that to the test tomorrow on my way back from Cleveland.
Bro, dude, trust me, it hits. It is still. Now, I will admit, it's been years since I've had it, so I assume it's still on the menu. But back then, because they'd put the croutons in the wrap, too. Oh, delicious. On top of all the many different awesome things at Sheetz. But yeah, now I want one. Now I got to go find a Sheetz, which unfortunately I'm in like a dead zone for Sheetz. I don't have one.
They everywhere. Down where I'm at, they're everywhere. It's like every 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Same thing, Medina County. You hit that, and it is all over the place. So the NFL's got one game to go, and boy, are they Tyvis, is the NFL not breathing a sigh of relief that they actually have games that matter for this weekend?
Oh, my goodness. All I thought about yesterday was like, they got lucky.
They got lucky. We talked about this on Friday's show, where there was a doomsday scenario that if different games went different ways, that we would go into Week 18, the last week of the regular season next week, and there'd only be 2 games of consequence, and it wouldn't even be for the playoffs. It would just be for seeding, not where we're at. Because both the Panthers and the Buccaneers lost. So there is a chance that a team with a losing record, if Tampa wins next week against Carolina, they would make the playoffs at 8-9. And then, of course, we know it all comes down to the Steelers and the Ravens. One of those teams will be 9-8, and one of those teams, Baltimore wins, they'll be 9-8, they'd make it. Pittsburgh wins, they'd be 10-7, and they would make it. So you get 2 winner-take-all division crown. We're good. But other than that, Tyvis, the divisions are spoken for. So I want to run through all of them, and I want you to tell me, at this point, which division has surprised you the most? So in the AFC East, Patriots win the division. Bills are going to make the playoffs. For the North, we know Steelers, Ravens, they got to play, the winner goes. For the South, technically Houston can still win the division, but Jacksonville and Houston are going to go to the playoffs. The Broncos are going to win the West, and the Chargers will make it. The Eagles will win the NFC East. Nobody else makes it. The Bears have won the NFC North with the Packers coming along. We know the Panthers, Bucks will play for the South. And then out West, Seattle, the 49ers, and the Rams technically all still have a chance to win the division, but they're all going to make the playoffs. Tyvus, of all those divisions, is there one that stands out to you that is the most surprising?
The only is 2. The Broncos win in the West and the Bears win in the North.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 for me that just kind of really shocked me the most. The Patriots thing, because Mike Vrabel, I got such a ton of respect for Mike Vrabel. When he was a head coach, he always made those teams really good to where he went. And they won free agency last year, so that's not surprising. Jacksonville always had the talent. And I knew once they got Liam Cohen, because he was able to make Baker look as good as he did. If he made Baker look that great, Trevor Lawrence coming out was the best prospect since John Elway. He finally, for what people have been trying to get him to play this way for so long, and he's finally figured it out. And Liam Cohen has put enough around him for him to be able to succeed. So that doesn't shock me. Philly definitely doesn't shock me. Carolina and Tampa Bay, I expected that to be the case. I expected one of them. I thought Atlanta would be in the mix too. But that division is always like this, where they're not that good. Whoever wins it is not that good or have a great record. And in Seattle, I want to say I might have predicted Seattle would be in the. I either said Seattle would win the division or be second. I can't remember if I picked them or San Fran, but I knew Seattle would be good this year because I talked to Sherm, and Sherm was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, man, I've been at practice, man. The way they be dialing up stuff on defense, like somebody becomes scot-free all the time, and it just looks really good." So I knew, because Sherm watched practice like in training camp, that they were going to be a good team because I trusted his judgment. So that doesn't shock me. The only 2 is when you get a first-year coach with Ben Johnson, who's never been a head coach before, and you're going up against the Packers, Detroit, you don't think that the Bears is going to they're going to go over there and figure everything out in 1 year and look this good. So that's shocking. And then Denver, obviously, Denver, I want to say Denver made the playoffs last year, but
they didn't. Yeah.
They're with the Chiefs, and for the past, I don't know, 7 years, the Chiefs have been the team to beat. And I know they were on the decline last year, but I didn't think they would fall off like this. And I didn't expect Denver to be, like, arguably one of the best teams. Do they still got the best record? They tied for the best record in the league, right? Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to.
13.
That just sounds foreign to me that Denver Broncos has tied for the best record in the league.
It's funny you mentioned that. There was a stat out that they had that nobody has won more games in their first 2 seasons than Bo Nix. Because he's got what? He had 13 this year, and I think they finished with, 10 last year? So he's got 23 wins with a chance to get a 24th in his first 2 seasons. And I go, 17 games versus, 16 back in the day. But, I mean, yeah, I was shocked by that too. And I guess, the downfall of the Chiefs isn't so shocking. An offshoot for me is that the NFC East only got 1 playoff team. And I know that the Commanders, Jaden Daniels getting hurt kind of changed a lot of that. I don't know. The Cowboys are just seemingly perpetually mid and just never really all that good. But, like, I would have expected some team to be out of that division and get a second playoff team. And I just think how bunched it is in both, scenarios. Well, I guess more the NFC, where you have 2 divisions that are only going to have 1 playoff team and then 2 and 3 in the North and the West. That's kind of shocking to me how it goes.
Yeah, I guess when you look at it like that, I mean, you are usually, for the past few years, either Dallas or the Commanders do something. But I guess the injuries, once Jaden Daniels went out, it was over. And then I think CD missed some time. And Dallas, they made the trade, and it got better. But they lost. It was a game they lost. They have no business losing, and I knew they was cooked. Oh, it was the Vikings game when they had lost to the Lions, and they said, like, whoever loses this game, their chances of making the playoffs go down drastically. So they lost to the Lions, but I still was in the belief, like, okay, they can bounce back. They got the Vikings. The Chargers are going to be tough. Commanders, they can finish out the season on a win streak. When they lost to the Vikings, cooked. I was done with them. Done.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy was still in there for that game. I think he had 3 touchdowns. He ran one in that game, too. And was that not the game, too, that Dak didn't throw a touchdown?
That's correct.
Yeah. Like, how are you going to win games like that? And did they kick, like, 4 or 5 field goals, too, in that? Like, whatever it was.
They kicked 6 field goals. Brandon Aubrey made 4.
There you go. And you're expected to win a game that's not how it usually goes, but unless you get a bad weather game, but they both play in domes, so there's no way that would have been possible. But, that is the crazy thing about how this season has played out, because the quarterback injuries are the ones that certainly, like, I know Mahomes got hurt late, but you circle that. Like, Penix gets hurt in Atlanta. They're done. McCarthy's been battling injury. Then you kind of factor in the Lions, where Jared Goff didn't get hurt. He just started playing terrible. And then I know defensively they've lost a lot of players, but that might even be one of the more shocking ones. The fact the Lions they were eliminated with 2 weeks to go in the season and not even going to sniff the playoffs. That one's a little shocking to me as well.
Yeah, I can't believe Lions. The Lions, wasn't they the number 1 team last year? Did they have the best record?
Yep.
And then the year before that, they had the San Fran, right? They had them on the ropes in the NFC Championship game and blew the lead. They was up by like 21 points. Mm-hmm. And here we are tied at the bottom of the North Division. Like, that's wild.
They have the same. They have the same record going in this week as the Vikings do, and the Vikings have had to start Max Brosmer for several games.
Maybe this Ben Johnson thing really messed them up. It's really messed up. I don't know what they're gonna do, because and this is weird, because I don't know who's like who's the top guy, like who's the top, like you would look at Jacksonville and say, like, Clint Kubiak, is he gonna be is he getting a head coaching job? Because he's not leaving Seattle. I mean, why would you do that? But I'm interested to see how Dan Campbell fixes this, because you would have to go get like a quarterback's coach from somewhere and make him your OC.
You're not going to get a lateral move. You're not going to be able to get an OC to come over like Joe Brady, right? Like, you watch the Bills, and I know they didn't put up a lot of points in that game, but they were showing Joe Brady a lot because he's a hot name for a lot of head coaching opportunities. And that list came out for the Titans because they already got rid of Brian Callahan. And it was a list, like, Jesse Minter, but he's a defensive guy, right? Like Joe Brady was on, and then like Mike McCarthy was on it. And I was like, oh, is that really where we're going on this head coaching search this offseason?
Tennessee, if the Browns fire Kevin, Tennessee going to be all over it.
I maintain this on Kevin Stefanski quick. If they move on from him and they make the decision that Kevin Stefanski is not going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns next year, they're going to trade him. They're not going to fire him. They're going to trade him. And they're going to call the Giants, and they're going to call Tennessee. And they're going to go, you want him, you got to give us a pick. And I think both teams would. I'm not saying a 1, because that's what I think that's what the Broncos had to give up for Sean Payton, right? Or close. And, John Gruden got traded as a head coach. I'm not talking about a 1. I'm talking you would call those teams and ask for a 3, and they'd probably give it up. I really think that's how it would go. And because not only would it kind of maybe look a little bit better, you get his salary off your books. I know there's no salary cap for the coach, but then you trade him with his contract. You don't have to pay him out. I think that's what they do.
That'd be interesting.
I think that's what they do.
Would a team trade for him? That's the question.
I think so. Well, let me ask you.
It's going to be hard. No, I would not.
You would not. Not even a third-round pick. Not even a third-round pick.
Why?
Nope.
This is the thing. You can't trade a coach because you're going to fire him anyway. So why would I trade? Why would I trade you so that I know you're going to fire him?
But what if you believe that in both these situations, Cam Ward and Jackson Dart in those two situations, and you watch what Ben Johnson is doing with Caleb Williams, you'd sit there and say, maybe this is our big guy.
The difference, no. The difference between those two is Ben Johnson had Detroit rolling on offense. Our offense has been atrocious for years.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, for sure. Well, with an NFL slate ready to go, a lot of points, we have an overachiever to hand out. We'll do it coming up here. T-Bone and Tyvis right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
The early commute has a couple of slow spots now on the north side. I-71 northbound at 17th Avenue. We do have an accident on the right shoulder, so be prepared for those on and off delays. Looks like traveling I-71 northbound from I-70 to Polaris Parkway is taking just 12 minutes this morning. We do have a wind advisory in effect through the day today, so watch for scattered debris and even the potential for some power outages. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save on Kroger brand 80% lean ground beef. 16-ounce packages are only $3.99 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
Hey guys, Anthony here. Time to be honest with yourself. How do you truly feel on a daily basis? Do you have the energy you need to get through a day? Do you have the focus you need to get through your work? Well, if you've started to notice something is off, then don't wait and see if the answer is testosterone replacement therapy at Synergenics and Low T Center. It all starts with a simple and free TRT test. You can even walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com. The testosterone is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. Now is the best time to get in because the TRT test is free. If you're a guy in your 30s, 40s, 50s for sure, there's no doubt you've been wondering what your level is and if this can help. The first step is taking the free T-test. They have clinics in Gahanna and Dublin. They give you the power to choose if you want to be treated in the clinic or if you want to receive at-home treatment. It all starts with the simple and quick free TRT test at Synergenics and Low T Center. FixMyLowT.com.
Get your furnace fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Ring in 2026 in a big way at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Don't miss our $65,000 New Year, New Wheels giveaway. You could drive off in a 2026 Chevy Traverse or take home $35,000 cash. Earn entries playing your favorite slot and table games all month long. The fun doesn't stop there. Catch live entertainment, hit the dance floor, indulge in fine dining, and count down to a balloon drop at midnight. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Senators. Live fan coverage starts Monday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. And now, it's time to highlight someone who's better than us in every single way. Meet our overachiever of the week.
Sponsored by 3D Cabinetry. 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability.
It is that time to hand out a very, very prestigious award that I'm sure everybody that we hand to is going to be very excited. We'll get the plaques in the mail and get it to them. The Overachiever of the Week. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He's Travis Powell. We'll bring Harry Loomis in as well. But, guys, I'll kick things off. The Overachiever of the Week is one Brock. I don't think he has a full name. I think you just go by Brock. Brockland Purdy. I don't know. Dude, 11 touchdowns through the air over 3 games. He had the 2 rushing touchdowns from last night. And I just have to make a self-serving announcement because I know no one cares about my fantasy team, and I don't care about your fantasy team. But Tyvus, you won me a championship last night. Let's go.
Must
Brock
be
Purdy.
nice.
Dude, a little cash on the side.
Little cash?
Little cash, buddy, yeah.
I blew mine last week.
Yeah,
Two leagues.
Dude, I was sweating bullets because I had Josh Jacobs, and he did nothing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing, like, literally
when you
0
get
points.
that, it's like it's over.
And that's why, honestly, I have this conversation with people all the time. I actually think I hate fantasy football more than I like it. You know, because right now I feel great. Brock did it, but I was, 2 days, I was like, I'm cooked. I'm fried. There's no way. And then somehow, the guy I was playing, he had Devontae Smith. He didn't do a lot. This guy didn't really show up. But then all of a sudden, Brock Purdy, the magician, going into the game last night, gets it done. So I got to hand it out to him. And it's crazy because you watch him play. Thank God that he went to San Francisco, because I'm not trying to diminish him or say that he wouldn't be successful elsewhere, but you watch him in that system with Kyle Shanahan, it's perfection. And I know he was injured, but how about this? Since coming back from the injury, he's got the 49ers on a 6-game win streak that they have scored at least 20 points in all 6 of those games. And Tyvus, in 4 of the 6, they put up 37 or more points. 37 or more without Kittle last night.
Meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan did a whole presentation PowerPoint of why he should not coach for the Cleveland Browns anymore.
I want that PowerPoint. I know he saved it. I know it still exists somewhere. For those that don't know, Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns in the Johnny Manziel year. One of the famous videos was that trick play. and they try to get Hoyer to throw it to Manziel, and Shanahan stand on the sidelines, and he tells Manziel when to run, and it was flagging all that kind of stuff. Reportedly, allegedly, to cover our ass here, he showed the Browns a PowerPoint on the end of the season about why they were never going to be successful. And he was no longer the offensive coordinator, and now he's one of the best play callers and coaches in football. So there you go.
Yeah, that's just,
I want the PowerPoint.
That's how things work. All right,
you don't delete that PowerPoint.
My
right?
overachiever of the week is Derrick King Henry.
Yes,
36 carries, 216 yards. 4 tutties. He put the team on his back. Got a chance to go to the playoffs. Got a chance to win the division with all the chaotic stuff that's happened with Baltimore this season. He put the team on his back, and he about to find a way to get it done. This is amazing to me that this is a guy that was fumbling the ball every game at the beginning of the season. To come out and have 216 yards against a great Green Bay defense, by the way. Man, that's where this been at all year.
You know, it's funny that you obviously could speak to this very much. There was a great back and forth. Mitchell Schwartz got involved with this, and there was another, another former player. And it started with the Twitter fodder that everyone always brings up of $1 million for you to tackle Derrick Henry in the hole, right? Like the average person. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and what Schwartz and this other player brought up was like, people fail to realize, unless you've been on the sidelines, or dare I say in a game, which both two of us have, but times I've been on the sidelines for an NFL game, the speed and the physicality, people have no idea. Oh, it was Mike Sando and Ocho Cinco. That's who it was. It was Ocho Cinco who brought it up, and then Mike Sando talked about it, Mitchell Schwartz. Tyvis, they don't understand.
How much you say? How much on the line?
$1 million.
I'll give it. I'm going for it.
Well, you're different. You play
right now, and I'm bulked up.
Harry, would you line up? I'd give it a shot. I'd give it a shot for $1 million. They didn't say anything about tripping him.
Harry, are you going out there for $1 million to try to tackle Derrick Henry?
No. Short answer. Absolutely not.
Here's the setup from Ocho Cinco. 1-on-1 A gap. He's not out on the perimeter. This is a sweep. This is a gap, wide open. You're lowering the shoulder. I take it.
I'm definitely going for it for sure.
I'd do it.
You got to bite down on that mouthpiece, Harry, and you got to grab a leg. You got to grab a leg, and then as he runs, because he's going to run you over. You're going to go backwards. You got to grab the leg and roll. You got to just roll.
Yep, just grab something. Just grab a hold of something. I'm kicking my legs up. I'm tripping. I'm doing whatever I need to do. Yeah, it's not part of the rules here. For $1 million, I'll break my shoulder. I'll take that concussion on. I'll bring it for $1 million. Hell yeah. Harry, you got an overachiever of the week. Who is it?
Yeah, I broke my arm on a playground when I was 18 years old. Derrick Henry
would have $1 million?
No, I didn't, believe it or not. Derrick Henry would have me looking like Humpty Dumpty after one rush. Anyway, though, so I am from St. Louis, Missouri, and I always love to give props to a guy from St. Louis doing something good. So how about Luther Burden, wide receiver for the Bears? Great college career out of the Missouri. Looked like he was going to be a first-round pick. Fell to the second round. Had a little bit of a tough start in training camp, start of the season. Really coming into his own. 8 receptions, 138 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Second one of his career last night, albeit in a loss. A stat that I found really interesting with the Bears, not a single receiver on that team has over 700 yards, but they have 4 receivers that are over 600. DJ Moore, Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, and Rome Odunze are all in between 617, 671 yards. Add to that a really strong rushing attack led by DeAndre Swift. And the Bears are one of the more surprising teams to be. We talked about that last segment. I think they are probably, in my opinion, the most surprising division champion, and it's because of depth like this, and they're going to be really tough out in the playoffs.
Well, that kind of comes back. It's a great one to bring up because, Tyvis, it's like that nature versus nurture when it comes to building the team. Because that team was they had some talent on it. They just got in the position to take Caleb Williams, and like Ben Johnson brings it all together. But for them to find Kyle Monangai later, although I loved him coming out of the draft, man, I had that feeling that he was going to be good. They basically have created what Ben Johnson did in Detroit with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They do it with Swift and Monangai. Now, are those guys on the same level? Not necessarily, but it's working. It's working like it did last night. And I know Rome has been out, but again, burden falls, and they just find these pieces together on top of a solid defense with some players on that defense. And they're sneakily one of the better rosters that you can find in the NFL. They didn't create that overnight, but it's kind of I want a quarterback. I need the Browns to take a quarterback. They're not going to be in a position to do that, so I'm fine waiting another year. But that's like a prime example of you build the team, then you find the quarterback, then you just sprinkle in the coach, and I expect the Bears to be pretty good for quite a while to come.
I guess we'll see. Time will tell, but they definitely seem like they got the right recipe. I like them to fix up that defense just a little bit more. More.
For sure. All right, Urban Meyer has one simple key to victory for the Buckeyes coming up on Wednesday. It's almost a guaranteed win for the Buckeyes to do this. So I'll tell you what Urban had to say. And there's a little update on the Jackets. I didn't bring this up with Bob. There's some flight issues with our guys getting up to Ottawa, so we'll bring that up. We'll get to all of it coming up. T-Bone and Tyvis this morning here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Traffic volumes are building a bit as we make our way through the morning drive. The accident on the north side on I-71 northbound at 17th Avenue has cleared, so traffic there is improving. The wind advisory remains in effect through the day today, so we do have the potential for some debris and scattered power outages. Make sure all those traffic signals are working properly before you head through. So far this morning, roads are pretty clear. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Leaky pipes, no hot water, issues with your sewer or drains? When plumbing problems strike, Logan Services is ready to help you out. We offer free estimates on water heaters, water softeners, and drain lines. Whether it's a surprise leak or an aging water tank, we'll give you an honest recommendation so you can take action fast. Don't wait. Schedule your free plumbing estimate now. Fast, friendly service you trust from Logan Services.
All new in 2026, the Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Ohio Credit Union, is back and bigger than ever at the Ohio Expo Center. Whether it's your first adventure or you're a seasoned outdoor enthusiast, this show has it all. One ticket gets you into all three buildings so you can see the latest in RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf carts, and more. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more, it's all here. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 9th through 18th. Get details and tickets at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
Truck drivers, no matter where you want to take your career in 2026, Schneider has an opportunity for you. Our huge selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Looking for more reliability on the road? Check out our new dedicated and regional van truckload opportunities. Don't miss out. Find your perfect driving job today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new Toyota, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through January 5th, you can get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models, with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get Toyota Care 2 years, no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham, Berm from the Austin and Berm Show here on 97.1 The Fan. I figured I owed you guys another check-in now that I'm 2 weeks into Awaken 180, and I'm happy to let you know I'm down 14 pounds. What surprised me really isn't that number, it's really how normal this feels. I'm not miserable, I'm not obsessing over food, and I'm not guessing. I'm just following the plan and watching it work, and that's why this matters. Because if you're like me, you've tried things before where week 1 feels exciting and week 2 feels exhausting. This is definitely not that. Awaken 180 gives me structure. It tells me exactly what I need to do and is with me to ensure that I'm doing it right. Ultimately, that's the difference. For someone like me who spends a lot of time on the road, in the car, and eating at weird hours, all that stuff matters. If weight loss is your goal this year, don't pick something you hope you can stick with. Pick something that's already sticking. 2 weeks, 14 pounds, and I'm just getting started. Find your own results and free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Baker. Both of Ohio's NFL teams picking up wins in Week 17. Myles Garrett doesn't get the sack record, but he and the defense were great. The Cleveland Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. That Steelers loss and the Ravens win Saturday night sets up a winner-take-all between those two for the AFC North next week. Joe Burrow throws for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns to Jamar Chase. Chase Brown rushes for 101 and 2 scores. The Cincinnati Bengals crushed the Arizona Cardinals 37-14. The Columbus Blue Jackets have won back-to-back games for the first time since the beginning of December. They beat the New York Islanders 4-2 in Nationwide last night. Kirill Marchenko scores 2 goals, including the game winner. The Jackets travel to Ottawa tonight at 7. Pre-game coverage here on The Fan gets underway at 6:30. And the Ohio State women's basketball team fell to number 4 UCLA 82-75.
T-Bone would like to take a second to remind everyone that Eddie George is awesome and that Ronnie James Dio was an American treasure. And that pickles are gross. Thank you. Here's T-Bone and Tybus.
Very important messages. I do like Ronnie James Dio very much. Rainbow in the Dark. It's a jam. He's Tybus Powell. I'm Matt Fontana. Urban Meyer says there's just one thing that the Buckeyes do on Wednesday. It's a win. Don't even need to think about it. I'll tell you what it is. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone this morning. Quick update on the Jackets, though, because I mentioned this. I just saw this from Aaron Portzline, the athletic reporter covering the Jackets. I didn't bring this up with Bob McElligott. Times the Jackets couldn't fly out last night. So they're in Ottawa tonight. They had a 5 o'clock game yesterday. They beat the Islanders. They were supposed to get on a plane, but they were grounded for the night with, like, the wind. Like, I'm up here. Dude, yeah, it was bad up here. I'm in Cleveland. 50-mile-per-hour gusts. So, according to Aaron, Jackets just slept in their own beds last night, and they're going to try to leave Cleveland a little bit later. I'm sorry, Columbus, earlier this morning, a mid-morning flight. But he said the NHL is still monitoring this situation, and if they can't fly out, even this morning, then we might have to have the game moved or changed or something. It's not a long flight to Ottawa, but the Jackets are still in Columbus this morning trying to get out with all that weather.
Well, that is I tell you what, I've never had a situation where I've had to play the same day of a flight, but that's never good. It's never a good idea. It usually doesn't go on well. Actually, one of my DB coaches, Daniel Bullocks, who played for the Jaguars and he played for the Lions. He said when he was with the Lions, they ended up doing that one game where they flew out the day of the game, and he said it was terrible.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was
like football, that's different because you're just a creature of. I know Monday and Thursday night are different, but you guys are always there the day before and all that. You know, hockey, basketball, baseball, you can always be on the go, and you're always just kind of moving. But, yeah, it's just a worry of getting out, and certainly, honestly, anybody else flying, like I would imagine with the holidays, is a really busy time to get out and about. But, yeah, it's crazy. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes out if we get any more updates on the Jackets, but they have not left yet for Ottawa. So we'll see an update if we get that as the morning goes on. So Urban Meyer, he has the Triple Threat podcast, and I got to shout that out because actually
Triple Option,
not Triple Threat. It is a triple threat, I think, with Mark Ingram and Rob Stone, and Triple Option. And I joke because I was going to say one of my closest friends, college roommate, and I was in his wedding, is their producer. So he'd very much not like that I messed that up. But the Triple Option show, Herb, shout out to my boy Chris. I need to send him that clip. I was just talking to him last week, and he's like, man, show's going great. And I was like, oh, we got to try to get Urban on, like either here or Columbus or, my show up in Cleveland. And then I say the Triple Threat. But Triple Option is with the Urban Meyer, Mark Ingram, and Rob Stone. And Coach said one thing. Ohio State scores 2 touchdowns. This game is over. That's it. Urban saying Ohio State scores 2 touchdowns, they win. He said, I just don't see Miami scoring. This could be a low-scoring game. And I think, obviously, you watch Miami, who just put up 10 against Texas A&M. Ohio State's defense would do laps around Texas A&M's defense. They're going to do laps around Miami's offense, I think, for this game. Like, 2 touchdowns? I think that's a little much, but I mean, there's a legit question, Tyvis, if Miami can even crack double digits in this game.
Well, I mean, when you go off of just the recent performance, I mean, it looked really bad. Now, the thing is this. The number is always 20 for the Buckeyes. If you can score, you have to, at minimum, outside of Indiana, at minimum, if you're going to get into a game with Ohio State, you need to go in trying to get 21 points to even have a chance of winning the game. Unless your defense is just as good as Ohio State's defense and you cause a bunch of confusion and they're not scoring at all, like how it was with Indiana. I think we only scored 1 touchdown in that game. So to me, the number is 20. If Ohio State get to 21 points, it's done. It's over.
And especially it's a lot of predicated of kind of what Urban is even talking about is Miami's offense scoring those points. I'm going to bring it up just because something you got to watch. Like, no pick six, no kickoff return, no punt return, no fumble return for a touchdown. Like, that is the fluky stuff that Miami's going to have happen, in my opinion, to make it that close. But I kind of agree, certainly with what you're saying, Tyvis, but then also with Urban, that if Ohio State gets out to that, and I fully expect them to score that 20, that is just going to put so much pressure on Miami. Because a lot of times you go into a game, and not just NFL or college, but you go into a football game and you kind of lay it out of how you want this game to go. And when you're an underdog, as much as Miami is, in my opinion, for this, and when you have a player like Mark Fletcher, run the ball control. Run the ball, time of possession. We're going to have to win turnovers, time of possession, and penalties. Those are three things the old school coaches really love to look at. And if you're Mario Cristobal, you're going to say, to take down a team that we are not as talented as, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to need some of that creative plays, the kickoff returns, the special teams, the fluky stuff that can kind of happen. So then if you're Ohio State, you sit there and you say, well, as long as we avoid those things, we should be just fine. Because Miami in no way is going to be equipped to do a shootout against Ohio State, both offensively and defensively. That's not the game that they're going to try to play here. So Ohio State could come in and just say, listen, they're going to run the ball. That's going to be their number one goal on offense. If we can limit that and just be efficient on offense, this is going to be a Buckeye victory, no question about it.
Yeah, I think that when you look at that definitely has to be the game plan. Keep the ball away from Ohio State and control. That's why I say the trenches, if they are as good as they say they are in the trenches, then they can absolutely control the game. If you're running the ball effectively and milking the clock and giving Ohio State the ball back with little to no time, and their defensive line is being dominant and not allowing Ohio State's receivers to be able to get down the field to get those explosive plays, then that would keep them in the game. I don't think our offensive line is bad, and I don't think that their offensive line can stop our defensive line enough to be able to do something like that. So I see why Urban's saying 2 touchdowns, because when you look at Texas A&M versus Miami, that was the case. I give him a little bit more credit than that. Yeah. I say 3 touchdowns.
I'll listen to that as well. 3, I think you're in the clear. The debate rages on up here, Tyvis. Shedeur Sanders. He had an all right game up until a couple minutes ago in the second quarter. It kind of went bad after that, but Brown's victory yesterday might have put them out of reach for Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. If you can't get one of those guys, do you just run it back with Shedeur Sanders? We'll talk about that coming up. T-Bone and Tyvis right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
The Monday drive is looking pretty good in and around Columbus. I'm not seeing any big tie-ups out there. With the wind advisory in effect, you want to keep both hands on the wheel, watch for scattered debris, and of course, the potential of some power outages so far on the main roads and freeways, though you're moving well. Construction on the west side, I-70 westbound between Hilliard-Rome Road and State Route 142 blocks your 2 left lanes. This is part of a long-term project, so no big surprises here. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Ring in 2026 in a big way at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Don't miss our $65,000 New Year, New Wheels giveaway. You could drive off in a 2026 Chevy Traverse or take home $35,000 cash. Earn entries playing your favorite slot and table games all month long. The fun doesn't stop there. Catch live entertainment, hit the dance floor, indulge in fine dining, and count down to a balloon drop at midnight. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Now's the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
They didn't have skim milk for your coffee, so I just got formaldehyde.
Oh,
Isn't that stuff in floor cleaner?
Pizza's here. Would you like cheese on that? Or how about a Crowley?
Oh, no, that's in bug spray.
Hi there. Would you like to sample our new scent? Diethylene glycol.
Isn't that the stuff in antifreeze?
You wouldn't want to eat it, drink it, or even smell it, but that's exactly what's in your vapes. If you vape, quit. If you don't vape, don't start. For help, go to odh.ohio.gov/novapes. A message from the Ohio Department of Health.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Back in the day, if you wanted to listen to the Fan, you turned on the radio, and that was the end of the story. But now, oh baby, stream us live on the Fan app, TuneIn app, iHeart app, we're everywhere. The Fan, Ohio's streaming destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies and breezy winds to kick off the day with wake-up temperatures in the 20s, but feels like dropping anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees. For today, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and still gusty winds with daytime highs near 30. And then for tonight, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and cold and blustery with gusty winds and lows in the 20s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
What's the point of watching football all weekend if you can't overanalyze it?
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Tyvus played in some of the biggest stadiums in the world. T-Bone has eaten some of the biggest pizzas in the world. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvus.
Man, with the new year, here comes the chance to make real positive changes in your life. You want to start the new year off right. New year, new me, correct? Well, go see my people at Tri-State Men's Health, because they got the treatments when the pills and the herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some of them treatments can have you last an hour or more, meaning you need to get the treatment the day before at 11 p.m. Bring in the new year right. I mean, you walk in there, you tell the lieutenant, hey, you kick the door down and say, get your hair right, because it's going down tonight. You know how they set the fireworks off at midnight for New Year's? Oh, it's going to be some fireworks going off. You go see my people at Tri-State Men's Health. They got 6 locations, 2 of them located here in Columbus. One is in Hilliard, the other one's in Westerville. It's a new year. Make the resolution to treat your ED and change your life. Schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health today. Your initial visit is $99, which includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, TMPSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. So call them today at 800-900-9654 or visit TriStateMen'sHealth.com.
Let's go. New year, new everyone. You'll love it. Love to hear it. T-Bone and Tyvus, Matt Fontaine, and for T-Bone, he, of course, is Tyvus Powell. Debate is on, man, because Shedeur Sanders gets a win yesterday, beats the Steelers. It was, Tyvus, like, I sent a tweet about midway through the second quarter, maybe a little after, and I said, this was the best half of football I've seen Shedeur Sanders play. And I get that people are being critical. Like, he hasn't thrown a spiral yet. You know, it's been bad passes. I'm like, hey, man, he's moving the ball. We're scoring points. What do you want him to do? All right. Then he gets a interception off somebody's helmet. Then he throws a really bad interception later. And I go, that's it. There's your microcosm of Shedeur Sanders. He plays well. He's doing this. And then eventually it's going to go bad. I go, listen, that's a rookie quarterback. What's he got, 7 starts now, 6, 7 starts? And I go, that kind of is what it is. But I had the realization after the game that he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns week 1 next year. Because I do not think the Browns are in position to take a quarterback. They could prove me wrong. They could somehow trade up and go get Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. And I am firmly in the camp. If it's not one of those two guys, I don't want it. I don't want anybody else coming out You want to draft somebody way later? Okay, fine. There is nothing about Ty Simpson that I'm a big fan of. Trinidad Chambliss, if he gets that 6th year, I have no idea. He's a nice quarterback. No. Because at that point, I have other positions that I'd rather spend a 3rd-round pick on, a 4th-round pick on, so on and so forth. Tyvis, I really am, it's not like I'm resigning myself because that sounds like it's a negative thing. I'm fine with Shedeur Sanders being your starting quarterback week 1. Now, has he shown enough to warrant that? I don't know. He looks like a rookie quarterback. But if you add this all up, I'm under the assumption Dylan Gabriel's still going to be in Cleveland. You still have Deshaun Watson coming back too, even though I don't think he's going to play for the Browns again. I could be wrong on that. Like, I just think all arrows, for one reason or another, are pointing to Shedeur Sanders being the week 1 starter for the Browns next year.
I think it ultimately depends on what happens front office-wise. I think that kind of dictates who's going to be the starting quarterback. If everybody gets fired, let's say Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, let's say they all get fired, you bring in a new staff of people, they're going to ultimately want their own guy. And they don't. A lot of people don't like to inherit guys. They like to get their own guy. Because if I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired for the guy that I believe in. And Shedeur Sanders is not their pick. So I think that could change a lot of things there. Obviously, the draft position is not final, so you don't know what's going to happen. There are arguably 3. Maybe 2 to 3 quarterbacks. If Ty Simpson comes out, you got 3 quarterbacks that people are respectful of with Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, and Ty Simpson. So you still may possibly be able to get that guy. There's going to be some trades of quarterbacks this offseason. You know, there's Malik Willis will be a free agent. You could trade for Mac Jones or, Kyler Murray or Tua. If you're into those guys, they'll be available for trade. So you can look at it from that standpoint if you want to trade for a quarterback. But if everybody stays, if everything holds chalk and Kevin and AB is still here, I think that the best way to get themselves out of the situation that they're in now is to go ahead and build around, get the offensive line together, get the weapons at the wide receiver position. Because when you look at Shedeur, you have to admit that he does give you a chance on offense. I think, so for the most part, I kept calling Kevin a liar because he said that Dylan gave us the best chance to win, and that was clearly a lie. But I will say, now that I step back and, I put my maturity hat on and I look at it from a coaching standpoint, when you watch Shedeur play, you get the good and the bad. And nobody wants that as a coach. You don't want a guy who can be hot on fire and then a guy that can be cold as ice in the same game. Rarely, a quarter later. And that's kind of what you get with Shedeur. Shedeur go out there and make some plays where it's like, man, this is unbelievable. But then he'll go out there and make some plays. You'd be like, what the heck are you doing? Yep. Like the second interception, like, what are you doing? Like that. So you get that. So when you don't really want that. You want consistency. All young guys want to be consistent. And Dylan Gabriel was consistent. He consistently gave you nothing. But you knew that was what you were going to get. So I think he was the more safer pick, and that's why they went and played him. I think for Shedeur, he still has to clean up the late in plays things that he does, the antics that's late in plays. I think when he's playing on time or he's on schedule, everything is good. I mean, his first quarter was phenomenal. Everybody walked away from that first quarter like, you know what? We can definitely roll 26 with this guy. Absolutely. And then he throws the first interception, and it was kind of downhill from there. Like he threw the interception to Jack Sawyer. Shout out to Jack Sawyer. Go Bucks, by the way.
Eerily reminiscent, by the way.
As soon as he caught it, I seen that 33, and I instantly said, go Bucks. But the very next drive, he almost threw another pick six. And then, obviously, later into that game, when they get to stop and it's about to be the 2 minutes, he throws that pick, and it's just like, you can't do those things. So what Shedeur has to do, he has to realize that once he makes a bad play, he's got to do a great job of shaking off and bouncing back. He lets it linger for too long, and that I don't like, and that is something that makes people say we need to go get another quarterback. So for him, he's got to find a way to bounce back quicker when he makes a mistake. I love for him not to make any mistakes, but he's a young guy. He's going to take his chances. He has to see what he can and cannot do in this league. So I'm totally fine with it, especially now when there's no playoff implications or anything on the line. So this is the time to let it fly, see what you can do. next year, if you are going to be the guy, you have to clean up the fact that you have to play cleaner. And once you make that mistake, your bounce back has to be immediate.
And there's that element that a lot of people that were big Shedeur fans from the jump are saying, if you go all in, he gets an off season of coaching. He gets a full, run of practice. And that was a whole big thing about him starting. You need practice reps. Okay, fine. So at this point, with a game to go, with frankly whatever happens on Sunday, and again, this is under the guise the Browns won't go out there and make some huge splashy move, either in the draft or via free agency or trade for a quarterback, that Shedeur's the guy. Yeah, you could go in and say, this is the body of work that we've done. We got to clean this up, but here is a lot of freaking coaching, man. Here is a lot of us just being hammering on these little things. That's where you need Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, if they're going to be in and if they're the guys, to have that foresight to say, if we do this and go all in and invest, are we going to get it out the other side? And that's life. You don't ever know. You go all in on something, you push this all here. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I need them I need them as the people that have spent their whole lives in football to watch the body of work in Shedeur Sanders and say, can we win with that? Can we win with that with some coaching? I don't know, Tyvis. I keep coming back to, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, when I look at this, Shedeur, the quarterback situation is, I would give Shedeur 26 ultimately. If he doesn't get it done, I think you know how Jimmy Haslam is with the Mannings anyway. Art should probably come out. Sure. There you go. You can get your quarterback. There are so many guys that's deciding to go back for another year. Maybe that another year, give them another year to develop, and maybe they can get something out of that. So I think that it's safe to give Shedeur 26 because the thing about quarterbacks in the NFL, and this is the problem, is that we rush guys in there too soon. And we expect them to go in there and just look great. Like, when I'm not talking, that's with first-round pick. This is a fifth-round pick that we talking about. We want this fifth-round pick to go in there and just play flawlessly, and that's not going to be the case. There was a reason that he fell in the draft. I don't think it's because of the talent. I think he's talented enough, and he shows that. I think it's above shoulders. I think it's understanding the game, the nuances of the game, the ins and outs. I think that's the part that he has to get better at, and some of the bad habits he's got to clean up. That's part two. But I think, like, a guy look at Malik Willis. Malik Willis is probably going to get paid by some team. And he started off as a guy. He had a similar trajectory of Shedeur. He was supposed to be a first-round pick. That year it was, I think it was that the Zach Wilson year? I think it was Zach Wilson. Then Kenny Pickett came out.
Wilson was the year before. He went between Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, then right. Then it was the Kenny Pickett was the only quarterback that got taken in the first round. But a lot of people thought that Malik Willis will also be taken in the first round, and that wasn't the case. He fell, I think, to the third, and he goes to Tennessee. I think he gets forced to start as a rookie, doesn't do that hot, bounced around a little bit, and then he ends up with Green Bay with Matt LaFleur, where he's the backup quarterback, where he's getting time to develop and learn things. Matt LaFleur puts him in the game, and he starts to look really well, but he's had time to develop. This is year 3 for Malik Willis in the league? Like, it takes about that. You think about Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't come out a rookie and kill it. His second year, I don't think he killed it. Year 3, he took off. So, it takes a while. And now here we are putting pressure on this fifth-round rookie to be good year 1, year 2, when realistically a lot of people don't really start thriving until year 3. I know Drake May and Jaden Daniels did it year 1, and C.J. Stroud did it year 1. But people think that that's the norm. That's not normal for rookies to be able to come in and just do it like that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
My question is, if say everything works out perfectly for the Browns next year, regardless of who's coaching, if Shedeur does have a great offseason, does have a great camp, develops into a perfectly league average type quarterback, what's the ceiling for the Browns next year? I don't know if that even gets them to a playoff team, because the AFC North is bad this year, but really because Lamar was hurt. The Ravens are only, 8-8. the wild cards are all 11-5 teams. It's going to be really tough for the Browns as is right now, unless they make a lot of wholesale changes in the offseason to kind of get to that point to where they're a competitive team. So
Browns ain't got no cap room to make no changes.
That's why I would just
listen.
That's why I would just see what you have in Shedeur in 26. I don't see any reason to go anywhere else.
Don't care about being good until 2029 when that dome open. That's when they need to be good.
I agree. Yeah. So why would you go anywhere else besides Shedeur and or Dylan Gabriel? Why not just see what you have in those two? You took a flyer on both of them. Might as well.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing would be saving jobs. If Kevin Stefanski goes, if we go 4-13 with Shedeur Sanders again next year, I'm not going to have a job. Same thing with Andrew Berry, and they go out and they get somebody else. That'd be the only reason. But for overall, for where the franchise is at, it's probably what it's going to be. Joshua Perry going to join us for the breakdown. I want to bring this up with Josh and ask him about Urban Meyer. Just say, hey, couple of touchdowns, all you need. We'll get to that in just 2 minutes right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
There is a wind advisory in effect, and with the high winds, power outages are expected. And we have had a few reported in the area. Treat any intersection with a malfunctioning traffic signal as a four-way stop. For the most part this morning, traffic is moving pretty well on your main roads and freeways. Of course, you'll find some moderate pockets of traffic. I-270 traffic is mostly moderate so far today. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
The common phrase is new year, new me, but that's hard to do when you're dealing with pain. Hi, I'm Tyvis Powell with QC Kinetics. I struggled to get through the day just like you until I seen my guys at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his staff brought me treatments that help my body repair my knees and shoulders. If you're like me and don't want to have an operation that keeps you away from doing activities, then visit QC Kinetics, where your treatments is in the office and there's no downtime. You'll be moving better and stronger, and that way you can accomplish all your goals. For me, I want to lose weight this year, and thanks to QC Kinetics, I can run and lift just like I used to when I was in the pros. Simple procedure that can deliver big life-changing results. Let January be your clean slate. Stop managing the pain and start solving it with QC Kinetics right here in Dublin. Call now for your free consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Buckeyes, the Big Ten, and the rest of college football. We tackle it all in the breakdown with Joshua Perry.
It's finally game week. Ready to go. Ohio State, Miami. Matt Fontana in for T-Bone. He's Tyvis Powell. We bring in the great Joshua Perry for the breakdown. Josh, it's finally game week. It feels so good, man. And I got to start because we brought this quote up from Urban Meyer the other day. Somebody obviously you and Tyvis know very, very well. And on his podcast, Herb said just 2 touchdowns because he just really doesn't believe that Miami's going to be able to score on Ohio State's defense. Tyvis said he'd feel better with 3. So I ask you, Joshua Perry, how many points for the Ohio State team would you feel really confident that gets him a win on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm closer to Tyvis on this one. I think 3 touchdowns gets you there. If you really start to dive into the numbers, if you get to 24 points, it's almost a given that they're going to be able to get the dub there in that game. Listen, this is a Miami offense, I think, all year that has shown the ability to be explosive, but they've kind of been up and down on the wave. And then when they got up against a talented defense in Texas A&M, obviously wind was a factor. It won't be a factor in the Cotton Bowl, but they had problems. They didn't trust Carson Beck to throw the football down the field. And outside of Mark Fletcher, who I think is a legit stud at running back for them, you go through their skill positions. And Malachi Toney, very good player, very explosive player. They use him in different ways. He's a little dude. Their wide receivers, a lot of those guys are playing at 190, 195, 200 pounds, just like not very stout guys. Outside of Mark Fletcher, their running backs aren't like super stocky dudes either. And I'm looking at the size, speed, power combination of the guys that Ohio State has on defense. I don't know. You hit these guys a few times, they might blow away. Like it looks to me like Ohio State should be able to go in there and impose their will. So you'd like to get a few touchdowns up on the board, but I look at Miami and once again, like I don't know if they score more than 10 or 14 points to begin with.
Josh, the narrative going around right now is that Miami is the better team in the trenches, and that's how they can win this game, is dominating the trenches. When you look at, if you're going off of the draft, they got a great offensive lineman, they got a great D-line, and the last time teams seen Ohio State was Indiana, where our offensive line struggled. Do you think that that's where the game is won and lost at in this game against Miami?
I mean, generally, that's where you think it would be won and lost. Now, this whole, they have the better offensive and defensive line thing. Like, okay, we can see that Ohio State's offensive line struggled against Indiana, and I'm totally there. By the way, I think what these defenses do are different. Indiana up front, a lot of movement, a lot of twists, a lot of stunts, creating chaos, and then in the back end, they give you a bunch of different looks in coverage that force the quarterback to hold the football and diagnose. That's how they get home, right? Like Miami's dudes, they're literally just like, hey, we're going to get after you. But if you break tendencies, and what I mean by that is on passing downs, if you run it, and on running downs, if you throw it, that's where you can have a little bit more success against Miami, because when it gets to an obvious passing down, the guys are pinning their ears back, and they're trying to get after the quarterback. It creates inverted seams. Like, you can gash them doing that. And sometimes they just get in this mode where they feel like they're going to run up the field and get a big hit, and you can gash them. So neither here nor there. Like, that's going to be the challenge 100%. You got to have answers for Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor. Those two guys can ruin your day. Miami's offensive line is good. Ohio State's defensive line is very good. Maui Noah is the tackle that everybody's talking about, who I think plays guard in the league. I don't even think he's a tackle in the league, but that's the guy everybody's talking about. He's a legit player. Their other tackle is like 6'9", 350 pounds. He moves decently. I think that's a dub on him. If you can get pass rush situations on him, I think Ohio State's winning those. The interior of their offensive line, those guys play hard. They're not guys that I look at and say, oh my gosh, they're going to ruin our day. They're that good. So once again, like, people online, they can say what they want to say. If you watch the tape, it tells a little bit of a different story.
Doing the breakdown with Joshua Perry as we get ready to go for the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State taking on Miami. And Josh, kind of off of that, the rushing attack, because the two games that Ohio State basically failed to score was Texas and Indiana, and those, ironically, are both the two games where Ohio State failed to rush for the 100 yards. And PFF had the breakdown about the inside zone and basically the middle of that offensive line for the Buckeyes versus that Miami defense that's very stout, and just how much Bo Jackson is going to have to run the football to take the pressure off. But to kind of what you were talking about, I don't know if this – I almost picture this game being Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate taking pressure off the run game versus Bo Jackson taking the pressure off of those guys. Would you agree with something like that?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Like, I think they have to run the football to be successful. And really, it's not like explosive plays and running up and down, whatever. It's like, legit threat of run to keep balance so you can slow down this pass rush that Miami does have. Now, when I look at Ohio State, the first game, of course, like, the personnel that was used to tote the rock is very different than when you got to the end of the year, right? Bo's a young guy, and they're trying to figure out what the pecking order is and who gets the carries. So by the end of the year, you figure out Bo's really good running back. He's going to be your RB1. His performance in the Big Ten championship, he was given close to 5 yards a carry, right? Like, this, people look at the total rushing number, and they're like, oh, Ohio State couldn't run it worth a piss. And I would argue that, like, was it the best rushing day? No. But you take the sack yardage out of the rushing total in college football. Your RB1 was giving you 5 yards a carry. It was a pretty good performance. And by the way, I think Ohio State left 14 points out there on the field. If they don't let them off the hook in the red zone, we're probably looking at the whole offensive performance very differently. So all that to say, I think they're going to give him the ball. I think he can have success, but I think this is one of those games where you need balance. You can't just try to do all one thing or all the other, right? If it's all run, Miami's good enough that they'll figure out ways to stop that. If you want to just drop back and make this a throw around the yard game, they've got guys who can ruin your day doing that. But when you start to have balance and those rushers can't get into a rhythm in the secondary, those guys, they don't know whether they need to be able to fill in the run game. They don't know if they need to be able to bail so they can keep the cap on the defense against a guy like Jeremiah, against a guy like Parnell. That's where you start to have some really good success there.
Joshua, the most important question of the day. At Christmas, did you limit yourself to one plate?
Okay. Go ahead. I'm interested in Josh's take. Go ahead.
Did I limit myself to one plate? So, so Titus likes to do this thing. You call him the plate police. He's the plate police.
Yeah, the plate police. I love. Yes.
He's always asking about somebody's plate. So I made. My mom brought over a casserole that I popped in the oven. I made a French toast casserole.
Ooh,
we had bacon. We had smoked salmon bagels as well. So I had a little bit of everything on my plate, and it was a delicious plate. And then I got to the end of the day, didn't eat it all up until way late, and I ordered Fogo de Chao. So I had a very protein-heavy dinner on Christmas, to answer your question. So one plate, yes, technically there was plenty on my plate, but Tyvis, you worry about your own damn plate.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to, you say you want to lose a little weight. Joshua came to my house late at night and had 5 Skyline chili dogs, so yeah.
Good. That
Everybody
fits
knows.
on one plate. That's one plate.
Everybody knows Skyline ponies are tiny anyway. Like 5 is like eating 2 regular hot dogs.
That's not true. That's not true.
This is what I'll be in later on today, actually, doing Common Man and Timmy. And the last time I was with Common Man, he told me that Tyvis is always talking about a diet that he's on, but every time he sees Tyvis, his ass is bigger. I'm trying to get right, no doubt, but we got to make sure that we're minding the business that is our own. How about that?
I'm going to the gym after this, so.
Good. You need to.
Yeah. I had 3, Josh, on dinner because I said I had my plate. Then I went back for seconds, and then I have kids, so I had to finish their leftovers, which turned out to be a full plate. And then I had dessert. I said that to Tyvis on Friday, Josh. He about had a heart attack. And I was like, what do you mean? I go, it's the holidays. It's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, but you look like you're in very good shape, so it doesn't matter. I will say this, by the way, the kids right now, both of my children got some sniffles, right? They're sick.
Yeah.
But that's the dangerous part is the finishing the kids' plate this time of year because they are just germ bombs, right? So like anything that they touch is radioactive, and so that's what I'm trying to avoid right now.
My daughter at dinner last night, she grabbed my water cup. She's 2. So, she reached over, she grabbed my water cup, she took a sip. I stood up, I took it straight to the kitchen, put it in the sink, and got another one. I was like, nope, not it. I go, I know what you're doing over there. I see what you're trying to do over there. Absolutely not. Because it's a bit of a futile effort because eventually we're all going to catch it and it's going to go around. 100%. But for at least right now, that cup has had enough. Josh, really appreciate it, man. So, yeah, we'll be hearing you later today on Common Man and Timmy. And now I'm hungry for some French toast casserole.
Well, I'll send you the recipe. Appreciate your time, guys.
There he goes. Joshua Perry. I love that, Tyvis. A plate pressure.
I love that. No, plate police is what he calls.
Plate police. Sorry, pressure would be if somebody grabbed it.
I'm not police. I'm holding my friends accountable.
That's the police. That's I'm going to say narc, but that's the police. You're holding your friends accountable. I get it.
How dare
Yeah, how dare you? That's exactly right. That's how it goes. All right, coming up, we got to get to the buzzer. We'll do a little crosstalk. We'll send you off. Busy day Monday, kicking things off. Ohio State, Miami coming at you right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
There is a wind advisory in effect, and with the high winds, power outages are expected. And we have had a few reported in the area. Treat any intersection with a malfunctioning traffic signal as a 4-way stop. For the most part this morning, traffic is moving pretty well on your main roads and freeways. Of course, you'll find some moderate pockets of traffic. I-270 traffic is mostly moderate so far today. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized Cash Rewards or unlimited Cash Rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Picture it, your holiday table. The family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, select varieties of Doritos, Ruffles, or Tostitos are on sale. Buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Donate your card today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-Cars for Kids. Donate your card today. Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season. When dessert turns into dinner. And time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water. The school she can't attend most days. Her little brother's belly laugh. Her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. It all connects. But at Child Fund, so do we, through everything we do, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Ready for a night of nonstop laughs? Stavros Halkias is coming to Mershon Auditorium on February 22nd. Don't miss the chance to see the comedy star live. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Two men who both know the value of a good hat.
You're bald!
This is Bone and Tyvis.
Got Matt Fontaine in for T-Bone. I'll be back tomorrow for Tyvis Powell, and the bet is on with Bob McElligott earlier. If the Jackets win tonight, then that means I'm just on the show when they always win, and T-Bone never gets to come back.
That sounds like a deal to me.
No.
For the jackets,
for the jackets, it works. For the jackets, it works. For my paycheck, that works too. But that all aside, but T-Bone will be back on Wednesday because I think he's going to bring the good luck for the Buckeyes. Because we need that. I'd rather sacrifice all that for the Buckeyes to get a win on Wednesday. We'll get to the buzzer in a second. We bring in Ryan Baker. You can hear him coming up on Bishop and Friends. And Bake, we've been talking about a lot this morning, man. We waited so long for this game. It's finally a couple of days away. Like, I feel like it's at 5 o'clock this afternoon, but no, it's still Wednesday. But how you feeling as we kick off game week?
Real quick, I'm okay with T-Bone not coming back if that means the Jackets are winning. You know that, Bob Fantana. So I love Bone, but we can kick him back to the afternoons if that means the Jackets are going to go
everything for our Jackets.
Yeah, on a win streak here.
I love it.
But I think it's so funny because the wait for Ohio State this year and last year is exactly the same, right? Because last year you didn't play in the Big Ten championship, but you played in the first round of the college football playoff. This year you play in the Big Ten championship, but you don't play in the college football playoff. But I think the difference is we've already had college football playoff games. So we're like, come on, let's get this Cotton Bowl here already. This is too long of a wait anyway. It's crazy that we're stretching out the season this long. Like, we don't need to be resting this long in between games, I don't believe. So let's just take 1 week off and let's get right into it. No more of this.
Well, it better be a healthy Buckeye team because if you taking this much time off, all those little aches and pains should be gone.
Well, and I don't know if you saw the initial availability report, but the only starter that is looking like they're not going to play in this game is Tegra Shabola, and he wasn't even ruled out. Right. He was doubtful on that initial report. But, seems like it's going to be all systems go, and hopefully we let that Ferrari out on the Autobahn a little bit here in the playoff.
We're talking about that, too, of letting these guys loose because I'm not trying to downplay Miami, and it's hard because, like, I'm an Ohio State fan. I've watched more Ohio State than I have Miami, and I know what Ohio State can do. And I'm going to go into this game on Wednesday, Ryan, and sit there and be like, listen, Miami is a good team. There's elements, there's ways that they can beat us. There are certainly ways that they can beat us, but I just think they're few and far between, and it really is predicated on Ohio State making some mistakes. So, like, as long as they take care of business, they should be fine. But yeah, I with everything on the side of the Buckeyes, the time off, the weapons, the defense, like, I think this just lines up in so many ways for Ohio State to take care of business.
Yeah, I feel like it does, and I don't know if Miami deserved to be in this college football playoff or not, but I don't see I don't see a lot here that scares me with Miami. I know Miami has Ruben Bain, who's a top 15 pick, and they have Mauioa, who's a top 15 pick, but I don't know if their defensive line's any better than Indiana, quite frankly, and I just don't see them doing anything to this Ohio State defense. I heard you talking about Urban Meyer earlier, that if Ohio State gets to 14, it's over, and I kind of feel the same way.
I'm right there with you. All right, Bake, we'll hear you coming up on Bishop and Friends, a very, very quick and fast buzzer.
I don't know why it's not going.
That's fine. That's all right, because we really are out of time for it, but that's okay. It was my bad on that. The buzzer, we'll just throw it out that we're ready to go over to Bishop and Friends. Tyvis, I appreciate you, man. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow on T-Bone and Tyvis right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic
on
Center.
the east side, I-270 at East Broad is on the lighter side of light to moderate. Roads are dry despite the cloudy conditions out there today. On the north side, you'll find traffic is looking pretty good on I-270 at Worthington Galena. Traffic is moderate to heavy in pockets, but still looking pretty good in all directions. I'm Heather Pasco.